Ladies and gentlemen, I am here today with Fiona Padaon. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did, yeah. Good job.
Like a white person?
Like a white person, yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Fiona, I met not that long ago. Like, what, maybe 6 months ago?
Yeah, something like that, about 6 months.
So, about 6 months ago, and we met through the Pathfinder apprenticeship. You guys have heard me talk about this recently. It's basically a 5 to 6 month mastermind. Fiona was my team leader with her husband, Ernie.
He's really hot.
Yeah.
Sorry, ladies.
I was just about to say that.
I know you were.
You cut me off. I was literally going to say the exact same thing.
Okay, you can say it. Sorry.
All right.
We'll cut that.
He's a very strikingly good-looking guy. All right. So, like what, 6 months, and it feels like and this is a going theme with a lot of our guests so far. Feels like we've known each other since forever, basically.
Yeah.
So basically, as far as what is it called, the spirit animal goes.
I was wondering if you were gonna bring this up.
You were.
Yeah.
So
I
people saying, because I'm like, how did you match me up with this woman here? Because we are literally spirit animals. We're the identical, other than the actual sex is different. And she's been in my face for 5 months, calling me out, keeping me in check, and
really aggressively.
very aggressively, which is why I grew probably the most I have in the last 5 months, more so than I have the prior at least decade. I would say confidently I can say that. Wow. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going my first interview without my hat. So
me too.
Yeah, and so I did that in out of respect for Fiona, because she's got a signature hat that she wears. And I said, you know what, since she can't wear it with the headsets here, I'll do the same. So comment and let me know. Should we get the hat back on? It's my signature look. But I did.
Your hair looks pretty fresh.
But I got the blonde highlights today.
Yeah, and they look good.
They do?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you bring them in a little bit cooler?
Whatever that means. If that means more blonde, then yes.
More.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
I'm channeling my best John Heinrich's look here.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, John Heinrich looks great as a blonde. He's like a Ken doll.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going for here.
You want to be a Ken doll?
Not really.
Bro, you're going to have to get rid of your muscles if you want to be a Ken doll.
Ooh, what if he's watching?
Well,
are you saying
buff.
Are you saying that John doesn't have muscles?
No. He's not a meathead. He's like athletic and he's toned, and this is really weird. Becky, if you're listening to this,
there's the
I'm sorry.
There's the pullback, the backpedaling. Yeah, but no, you have muscles.
No, but like his leg is the size of your bicep.
Oh, John, I hope he's not listening to this.
That's not a bad thing. He's
for
not
a guy. If you say legs are as big as a guy's arms, that's
bro,
not
have
good.
you seen your arm?
No.
That's
never. I never take pictures
I'm just saying
in the mirror.
That's not an insult.
I never take selfies in the mirror ever. All right. So anyway, enough about me.
Hammer, your lips
But please
look great.
comment. Let me know good or bad. So yeah, put the hat on, or you know what? It's kind of cool. All right. So Fiona, do me a favor here. Get into I want to talk about your business real quick. I want to put this out there. So you wedding business, give me the name of it, the IG, so they can go follow you. And if they want to hire you and your husband here, give them the name of the IG, the name of the business.
Yeah, so we are Everyday Forever Weddings. We've been in the industry for about 8 to 10 years, depending on when you start our timeline.
Yep.
Our IG is Everyday Forever Weddings.
Yep.
We're pretty consistent.
Oh, yeah.
Brand-wise. And then Ernie and I have a joint IG that's Ernie and Fiona, which you get to see a lot of madness on.
Good.
JD made us get our own.
I did.
But we're working on it.
And I love it, by the way. And I'm sure you're getting good feedback on it.
Yeah,
because people are able to see the family now, the kids.
Yeah, but Ernie and Fiona always did that too.
I know.
It's okay.
But Ernie, we need to get Ernie to step up a little bit.
Well, he is making sure Ernie and Fiona IG.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So,
good. That's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a genius in social media marketing.
I know he is.
That's how we built our business.
I know. And we're going to get into that, by the way.
Sure.
Okay, but give me some statistics here. I want people to understand how incredible your business really is. This isn't just some normal wedding photography business.
Yeah.
How many weddings in 2021 did you have on the books?
310.
310 weddings.
Yeah.
In 1 year.
Yeah,
that is insane.
375 jobs total, but weddings it was 310.
310. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? And what are you estimating for 2022?
So we're just finishing up our goals with all that, but I think it's gonna double. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this.
Wow.
So we're definitely gonna hit
600 to 700 or more.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. If you ask
Wow.
Marco, which Marco should be in the seat at some point,
Yeah.
but if you ask him, he thinks that we do 1,000 weddings a year.
So, who's Marco?
Marco Contreras.
Contreras. He's like that way.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm lost now.
He thinks that we do.
Oh, he thinks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. He's projecting.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, is he involved in the business somehow? I'm like, what
Not
the?
at all.
No, I mean,
He
he
just
talk
from
about
stage said it.
strikingly handsome gentleman.
He's all right.
For a
compared
Mexican, is he Mexican?
Yeah, I think
He's a great
But compared
guy.
to Ernie, he's got nothing.
Yeah, true. Totally true.
Yeah. Especially with the shoe game.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ernie's got the shoe game, big time.
Yeah,
all right. So we put it out there. Everybody knows that you're extremely successful. 360 something weddings this 21. Going to break probably 600 to 700 or more. So if you want to book them, you want to get on the schedule quick. All right. Best in the business. So now what we're going to do here is, this is customary for what we've been doing on every single interview here, is we're going to dig a little bit, Fiona, because now everybody knows how successful you are right now. Okay. Sure. Obviously, this hasn't been like, the last 20 years. It took some time to get here. So now we're going to peel back some layers here, as we always do on the Real Deal Talk podcast. So let's go back to little Fiona back in the day. Talk to me about, let's go all the way back. Give me some childhood stuff. How was the childhood? Good upbringing, solid home?
You have a cheat list.
Huh?
You have a cheat list.
What do you mean?
We've gone through this.
No, we haven't.
In your apprenticeship.
We went top level.
Yeah, very much so.
We brushed right over it in less than 5. That's everything in Pathfinder. Like, you gotta get everything done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Talk about your whole life in 5 minutes.
You get to be really efficient.
Right, which helped me. But this is my podcast, and we don't need to do 5 minutes here.
All right.
We're going to go on and on, because I need to dig in.
Chris loves you for that.
I know he does. He loves me. I know. At first he's like, I don't know about that. I'm like, yeah, but then anyway, we'll get into that later. All right. So talk to me here.
Okay.
This isn't the 5-minute brush over.
Great.
Go back. Give me childhood.
I was born in Florida.
Okay.
I was born in West Palm Beach.
Yep.
My brother actually still lives there, one of my surviving brothers. And I was born to a hot mess of a family.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, my mom definitely has, I do also want to be very careful to have some, because this is the first time publicly going, which I feel like is a theme.
Yes.
But publicly going with some of this stuff.
Of course.
But my mom comes from some trauma.
Yeah.
And, life was really rough. Her and my dad were in an abusive relationship.
Okay.
Drugs, abuse, whatever, right? A mess.
Yep.
So I have 2 older brothers.
Yep.
I was the baby of the first 3. Altogether, there's 5 of us. So, but when I was about...
So 5 total.
Yeah, my mom had 5 kids, bro.
5. And where were you in the lineup?
I'm number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah, so I have been the baby,
Yeah.
I have been the only, and I have been the oldest, all in my lifetime. That's why I'm so well-rounded.
Okay, so how are you the only?
Because for a long time, it was just me. My brother that's younger than me now is, he's 12 years younger. So he's 27.
Okay.
Ish.
12 years younger, huh?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, whoops.
Wow. Oops.
All of us were. Oops.
Every one of you's an oops?
I think so. I'm pretty sure. There's been some comments that made me think that.
Oh, really? Okay, so how long were they together the whole time? Give me...
Yeah, so no, my parents split up.
Yeah.
And my mom had a boyfriend. And...
When did they split up? What age were you?
So some of my childhood is super foggy, but...
Yeah, of course.
I know from the grapevine... When I was about 2 years old, I know it was potty training age. So 2 or 3, my mom actually took me from Florida. And fled.
And fled. Mm-hmm. Because it was such a rough situation. Rough.
Where to go from here? I've been told that it is because...
Because there's no way you could remember, obviously.
Right. Bro, I could barely remember what happened last week.
Exactly.
To be really honest. But from what I've been told,
yeah.
My mom, her boyfriend, and his stepfather were being chased by the feds for stock market fraud back at in the 80s.
In the 80s, yeah.
So they left. They went to New Mexico. I do remember parts of New Mexico.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember staring at a tarantula at the sand dunes.
Yeah.
I remember like seeing the bats in like the cabin, like the caves or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I remember the house, his parents, and then we ended up coming here to California.
And so this is when your mom took you out of there, right?
Mm-hmm. And she left my brothers.
She left your brothers
Yep.
with your dad.
Yep. I think it was Thanksgiving Day. I was supposed to come, and I never did.
Really? And so did she tell your brothers that she was going to do this? Ahead of time? She's like, hey, guys, by the way. No. So the two brothers, were they more aligned with dad, would you say?
Nope. My dad left them too.
He did?
Yeah. So my grandparents raised them.
Yeah. But at that time, your dad was with them. When she left, Thanksgiving Day.
My dad still deals with addiction.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So he's,
Yeah. And so the Thanksgiving thing, he was still with them.
Mm-hmm.
And did they, because back then, there's like no calling other than a landline, right? We couldn't text her.
Right.
So they just wondering, hey, what happened? Or did they?
That part I have no
You have no
clue.
idea.
No
Okay.
idea.
So mom took you out. You remember New Mexico, all that stuff.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So go on.
I remember driving here. I had 2 ferrets,
Yeah.
Fuzzer and Wuzzer.
You're kidding me.
They were really cute. I loved them.
I always wanted a ferret.
Yeah, they're crazy.
They are. They're wild.
Yeah. So, but we, I remember that being in like Arizona or whatever, and I remember it being really hot, and we were like putting our Coke cans around them in the car. And then we ended up here in.
So did she have a plan? Like, hey, we're going to San Diego eventually? Or did she just say we're going west?
I don't know. My mom actually has plans. I don't know.
And I'm not meaning to laugh.
No,
but the way you're saying it is funny. Okay, so you left, and then you somehow ended up in San Diego.
Yeah, so I ended up San Marcos.
San Marcos, which is where you reside now.
Yeah, I didn't always. I hated San Marcos for a hot second. But,
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Why? What was wrong with it?
It was trash.
What's wrong?
Well, I grew up in a different San Marcos than you see today. So
Okay.
I grew up, it was filled with gangs.
And how long ago was this? Give me the 20 years ago?
Do I have to give away my age?
You already did.
Maybe.
Yeah, you said your brother was 12 years younger than you. You already said
I
it.
said I think.
You said
I didn't do math.
Whatever.
I'm blonde. I don't know how to do math. No, yeah. So in high school, so growing up, like I went to kinder.
Yeah.
At San Marcos Elementary,
Yeah.
which they ended up tearing it down and rebuilding because it was just a hot trash mess.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Was that bad?
I was the only white kid.
You're kidding me.
Me and this other girl were the only, and we lived in the same apartments. Yeah. So,
Really?
Yeah, so
All
we
the
would-
kids?
Well, just me and this other girl.
Oh, okay.
It was across the street from the school.
And so at this point, you've got your mother, you, and your 2 younger siblings?
No.
No.
My younger siblings are far, like,
Oh.
I was 13. I was
Oh.
in junior high. Something like that before
Yeah.
my brother came.
Oh,
And actually,
that's
don't
right.
really have a
Right.
relationship with my youngest sister.
Your youngest sister.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's 12 years younger?
No, she's like 21. It's crazy, bro. I told you.
Oh, boy. Here we go. See, this ain't no Pathfinder 5-minute brush over, is it? All right.
Welcome to
So,
Jerry Springer.
so there's an 18 year, 18 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just about.
So you just came out here solo with her
Yeah. And her boyfriend.
and her boyfriend.
Yeah. So we lived in an apartment.
And where'd the boyfriend come from?
The boyfriend came from Florida. They fled together.
Oh, really?
Remember? Because his stepdad. Yeah. So we lived with his parents in New Mexico.
Oh, no kidding.
And then we left. Like, I remember potty training and being scared of the toilet because his dad told me, oh, if you flush the toilet, and I was a kid, guys, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if you flush the toilet, it's going to suck you in.
Yeah.
And so I was terrified.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Of the toilet?
Eventually, I don't wear diapers now. So eventually I got with it. But
Yeah, eventually you're okay with it?
yeah.
Okay, so the boyfriend came out here. How was the boyfriend? Was he nice guy, good influence? Or just as bad, hot mess?
No. So I actually grew up very abused as a child.
Abused.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, physically and mentally?
Yes. So he made a whip. He was into leather crafting.
Yeah.
So he crafted a whip and engraved it Mr. Leather. And I used to say hello to it every day after school. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I used to beg the teachers. And this is back in the day. I
Yeah.
feel like when most people didn't, I don't know, like CPS wasn't like,
Yeah.
you were allowed to spank your kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day,
Like
it was no holds barred, basically.
Yeah. So
There wasn't all this crap that's going on now. That's
yeah.
for sure.
And I was a hot mess in school.
Yeah.
Behaviorally, they almost made me like held me back in kindergarten because I was such a mess.
So by mess, what do you mean?
Like just behaviorally, like I was definitely labeled as like ADHD kid, right?
You were labeled, yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, of course.
But really, what it stemmed from is the inability to actually sit in a school setting because of trauma that was happening at home.
Right.
And I would beg my teacher, like, "Don't let me go home with him." And
what did the teacher do? They didn't do anything?
No.
And so
slipped through the cracks. I was one of those.
And so you would tell the teacher all the time, and this is now, at what age do you remember doing this? 6, 7, 8, 9?
Yeah, kinder. I remember. Kindergarten. Like, so I thought it was 5, but
yeah,
we'll get into that when we get.
Yeah.
But.
Oh, you thought you were.
My mom forgot my birthday year. So I actually had 2 13th birthdays. So I was probably 4, but you're 5 when you go to kindergarten.
Yeah. So she didn't even really actually even know.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
I'll tell you later how it happened because we'll get into that. Like when my brothers come back in my life.
Okay. So this guy with the leather thing, whip.
Mm-hmm. And he had like glaucoma or something in one eye. Like it was foggy.
Yeah.
So like I remember his crystal blue eyes and one was like super foggy. And that's how I remember him.
That's how you remember him.
He actually died in front of me. When I was a kid.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Don't you love this?
Yes. Wait. I mean, I don't love that
well,
this happened.
I know, but your facial
this.
expressions is what I actually love. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
because you thought.
Wait. Yeah, because you're like,
thought, like,
we already went over this. No, we didn't.
You thought you were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna peel back, and then you're like,
I knew. Believe me.
Holy, I'm gonna peel back.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on. Go back.
Okay,
Go back to Mr. Leather. What was it called again?
Mr. Leather.
Mr. Leather.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you'd come home from school. Mm-hmm. Give me a scenario here. What would happen?
I would have to go in my room.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to sit on my bed and wait for him to come in to whip me.
For no reason.
Yeah. And one time
it was a daily thing.
Yeah. And one time I tried to put a pillow.
Yeah.
In my butt, and then from that point on, I had to do bare butt.
And what was the reasoning that he was giving for doing this, or was he?
No reasoning. I mean, not that I remember, but he also like I lived in domestic violence as well. So like I remember probably around the same age.
Yeah.
My mom was a waitress, and she worked 2 to 10 the whole entire time. For like 17 years. Like, we were part of the Heinzel's family. Like, it's this restaurant that was big in San Marcos.
Yeah.
And, my mom would come home and I'd wake up and hear them fighting and all this stuff. And I remember being terrified. Like, I have to go out there and save my mom, but he's going to kill me. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I remember
he'd be beating her.
Yeah. And
this is the boyfriend.
Yes.
It already happened with your dad.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Crazy,
so we're repeating
right?
the cycle. Okay.
Yeah. So I remember, coming out and seeing my mom, and he picked my mom up by the throat and threw her across the living room, and she hit the wall and bounced like a hot dog.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Because she was probably out cold.
Yeah, and I just remember going like, I have to save her, I can't save her, and I hid under my bed and went to sleep. Yeah, because there was just like
nothing.
There's nothing. What would I mean? Honestly, what is a 5-year-old, 6-year-old going to do?
Zero.
So
nothing.
Yeah.
So every day was the ritual. Every day, and mom was at work at this point.
Yes.
She was always at work. Obviously, she knew what was happening, or did she act like she didn't? You don't know.
I don't know.
Would you ever tell her?
I'm sure I did.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom was all that I had, so
Yeah.
I'm sure I did.
Yeah.
You know.
But she was getting beat herself, right?
I do remember.
Do you remember her like reasoning with this, like saying, "Hey, it's because he loves you?
No,
Do you ever remember
not at
her
all.
telling you anything, like trying to defend
No.
him in any way?
So I come from a Latvian family, and I feel
Wait, a what?
Latvian,
Okay, explain
Eastern
that.
European.
Okay.
We're from Latvia.
Yeah.
So my mom and my aunt are first generation Americans, and in Latvian culture, like, you don't talk about this stuff. Like, you
Yeah.
just, if you don't talk about it, it doesn't happen. Like, it
Yeah.
didn't happen. Get over it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so nobody talked about this at all.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And so it basically just kind of she basically kind of just brushed it underneath the rug and didn't even address it.
yeah, pretty much.
But I'm sure you would tell her about it.
No, totally. Between
Yeah,
that and
yeah.
playing with my Teddy Ruxpin, like, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so how did this evolve? Like, what point did it change? What point did things go where you said that how far did she have the next child with him?
No.
Oh boy.
No. So when I was probably, gosh, this is where, like, time gets a little really confusing for me, because my stepdad comes in to play at some point during this. But when I would, let's say, second grade,
Yeah.
he was still around. I had a really mean teacher too.
Oh, great.
Like, she was horrible, but we won't talk about her because I don't know. I don't want to.
Like
But
like you
anyways.
needed that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I remember we were walking, and they were, I remember him rolling joints, like, when I was a kid, like, watching the Lakers game.
This is the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we were going to get his booze and
Yeah.
probably a sack of weed or whatever.
Yeah.
And we walked down to the store. And as we were walking back, he actually started walking really funny, like just really funny, angled forward, and just fell on the floor. And I remember sitting there. I actually vividly can still remember this, but I remember, like, haha, you're so funny. Like, I thought he was joking.
Yeah.
And I remember pushing him with my foot, like, come on, get up.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't get up. And then this stranger came dressed like in a Renaissance outfit.
That's random.
It's probably still the 80s, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a mess. And and he came. His wife was pregnant. It was the first time I had soda that day ever in my life.
What?
Yeah, his wife took care of me while they called, the ambulance. And
Did he say, I don't think he's alive?
I guess they revived him. But he then again crashed in the ambulance on the way. But
Was it drug overdose? Was it?
I think it was
Heart attack?
Yeah, heart attack. Years of shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
at how old are you at this point?
Second grade.
Second grade.
8.
8?
Yeah, so I'm like at my daughter's age. Wow. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So what were you getting into at this point? Like at school? Were you just getting into trouble? Were you a
I
troublemaker?
had major behavioral problems. I couldn't sit in class. I couldn't learn. Like, I was struggling in every aspect.
Well, because, when you have a home life like that,
Totally.
What the hell are you going to do?
Psychologically, there's no way that
Yeah.
a kid can retain any type of education.
There's no way.
No.
Wow.
So,
And the teachers didn't do anything.
well, no. And then, when I went through, like, kinder and nobody's helping me, like, I'm not,
Yeah.
And
then, okay, so then he keels over in front of you.
Totally.
What did mom do? She came.
Oh, this is so creepy.
Oh, God.
So I remember being at the police station.
Yes.
Getting picked up by the restaurant manager, Stevie.
Oh, my.
I played with his kids, his
Don't
daughters.
tell me she stayed on shift.
Yeah.
Is
And
that...
he brought me to the restaurant, and then it was
Because she didn't want to leave her shift.
Yeah. And it was just like nothing ever happened. Like, he never existed.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, are we going to go to his funeral? And she's like,
Yeah,
no.
what funeral?
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Like, who's going to hold a funeral for this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who did what? Did they just...
I don't know.
You have no idea.
I know that my stepdad ID'd his body. Take a drink.
Your stepdad.
My now stepdad ID'd his body.
So who was he back then? This guy, the stepdad. Oh, God, don't...
He was just a restaurant goer.
I was going to say, don't tell me the restaurant bar manager.
No. He was one of the customers. So because the restaurant that my mom worked at was like the town hub.
Yeah.
So like anybody who was anybody, everybody ended their day there, or they were there at some point.
Right.
People would
It
go
was
to
the
prom
place.
and then go to Heinzel's. Like, so.
And this is in San Marcos.
Yeah, it's actually, where Home Depot is? Off
Kind
of San
of.
Marcos Boulevard?
Yeah.
Okay, so my apartments were behind Home Depot.
Yeah.
Home Depot was not there. And there's that Mexican restaurant that has that hotel.
Yeah.
Or motel.
Right.
Let's not call it a hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that used to be the restaurant we worked in.
was
So my
it.
mom would walk down the hill. Yeah.
And so the restaurant manager came and picked you up.
Yes. But remember, though, like, we were pretty much family with them at this point.
Right. She was on shift. Said, "Hey, how are you?" Said, "By the way, Mom,
I don't
I mean,
know.
tell me, do you remember? Oh, you don't know.
I
This is
don't
good. Yeah,
know.
no,
I
tough
don't know
one.
that part. I just remember being picked up by him, and I remember walking down the street with my mom asking, like, "Are we going to go to his funeral?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Mike, who? Like, who? Whose funeral?"
Let me ask you this.
And I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm not supposed to talk about this."
How were you feeling at this point when you knew this man died? Can you remember how you actually felt? Did you feel relieved?
Well,
Relieved?
here's the funny
in some
thing.
way?
Here's the funny thing is my mom and I remember my mom before this big, huge incident happened. She said, "Fiona, we're going to get out of this. I have an apartment. We're going to move, but you can't say anything to him." And I remember like a vivid him rolling his joint, watching the Lakers and grilling me. "Are you guys going to move out?
Oh.
Are you?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah.
As a kid. And I was like, "I literally don't know what you're talking about." And then probably before I moved, we moved. And then it was somewhere in between that. So.
Which was how long? 6 months? 3 months?
No. Probably. It was way shorter. Weeks.
Really? Wow. Mm-hmm. What a coincidence, huh?
Weird, right?
That's interesting.
Very weird.
Very interesting. I wonder what the autopsy showed. No,
He had a heart attack.
it was a heart attack?
I do know that.
You do know that?
Yeah, I do know that.
Okay, so wow. All right. So what
I
happens?
brought my life mapping exercise.
What happens next?
So we move.
Yep.
And
To the apartment that she already had.
just down the street.
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, if you're gonna like run away from somebody who's abusing you, you're not gonna go
yeah.
down the
Yeah,
street.
like 2
bro.
blocks.
Like,
Right.
common sense. I don't know, whatever. But my mom always was really big about walking everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, so it had to be walking distance from work and walking distance from school.
She still had the car, right?
No, my mom's never had a license since I've known her.
So it was the boyfriend that drove the car across
Yeah, we had a 300ZX and it talked.
It-
We named her Precious.
What do you mean it talked?
Yeah, like you remember what is that ghost? The Kip, the car.
Oh, the Kit?
Yeah. So we had a car like that.
Knight Rider. What are you?
Knight Rider. There you go.
Knight Rider.
Why are you laughing at me, Chris?
No, he's looking at me. He's looking at me, going like this. You don't know that?
Yeah.
I knew it was. I didn't know.
What's
Yeah, but I
the
didn't think.
theme song?
I
I
didn't
can
think
hear
her
it.
car was actually talking to her. I thought. I thought she was
Fuel
being,
level is low. Thank you, Precious. Lights
oh
are
wow!
on.
Wow!
Left door ajar.
You'll never forget that, huh?
Never. It's so cool. Dude, I'm a kid and my car is talking. My car
wow.
doesn't even talk now.
Right. I know.
It should.
It should. You're right. It should. All right. So.
So we move.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So we're in this apartment complex that's across the street from our school,
Yep.
my school, down the street from where she works.
Yep.
And I remember coming home from school and my now stepdad is there and I was like, "What are you doing here?" And I hated him. I remember like trying to beat him up.
This is the now.
Leave my mom alone.
This is the stepdad eventually.
Eventually stepdad, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not together anymore.
And you remember this guy?
Yeah.
He was already involved. There's an overlap here, so he was already there, and he was already nitpicking with you. What was he doing?
He was just like hanging out with my mom and I came home from school.
Spencer's loving this, huh? He's getting a kick out of this one.
He's like, "How much can she keep?" I'm good, Spencer.
Yeah, we'll get there though. We get there. All right, so give it to me again. The guy was where? He was at the new apartment?
Yeah. Just sitting. We didn't have any furniture.
And you already knew him?
No.
You didn't know him?
First time I met him.
First time you met him. And what did he say to you when you first met him?
I don't know. I just told him, what are you doing here with my mom? Get out. This is my house. Yeah, I was really bold as a kid. I don't know if you know that.
No, I can't even. I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
Oh my gosh, I was probably
Probably
so
worse,
timid.
huh? Yeah, right. Sure.
Bad.
All right. At this point, you're how old? Do you think?
I think I was still 8.
Yeah, okay. So wow.
Yeah.
And so, what did he say?
I'm your mom's friend. Like, it was like not an issue. And
Was
my
he
mom
living there?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
My mom was laughing because I was like this little 8-year-old trying to beat up this dude.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, truth be told, I was terrified because I don't know who this guy is.
Right.
And we lived in this, like, it was, it was horrible. It was hell.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ever see my mom hurt that way. So I, very young, became very protective of my mom.
Yeah.
So.
Was she still using at this point and doing?
I don't know.
You don't know.
My mom's always kind of dealt with, like, drinking and stuff like that. So.
Okay. And then, so at this point, like, okay, so this guy gets involved. When did he move in?
They eventually get married. I think it was, actually, I know that I was 7 when he got married. So I must have been 6.
Really?
Wow, see?
Oh my God.
Because I remember when I was 14, he was like, I've known you half your life. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he was around for a while.
Yeah.
And was he abusive?
No.
Don't tell me this one was too.
No, he loved my mom.
He did.
He comes from a very good Texas family.
Wow.
They were in the military. My grandparents met, like during, I think it was just before like World War II or whatever, but they would do tours. Like they were both stationed in Hawaii, and I wanted to be like, go over here. And my grandfather like flirted with my grandma because she was like the flight attendant.
Yeah.
And he got on the plane when he wasn't supposed to.
Oh,
That's how
really?
they met. And they started
That's how they
dating.
met.
Yeah, it's cute, huh?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
All right. So the new guy
Yes.
is he gets involved. He moved in eventually.
Yes.
They got married.
Yes.
How were you feeling about that? Did you eventually like him?
Eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah. I mean, I had, because I think of what I've gone through, like, I really had to work hard to break walls down with men.
Yeah.
Like, but I was like the tomboy, so I played with all the dudes. But like, my mom was the woman that's like, you could be stronger than a man.
Yeah.
Never let a man overpower you, or, like she didn't teach me like chivalry. You know what I mean?
But then she's saying one thing, but allowed herself to be abused.
Yeah. Well, when you come from like massive trauma in your life,
Yeah.
like, it's sad.
Yeah, totally. All right, so this guy was
And
actually...
she's a beautiful woman. Absolutely stunning, gorgeous.
And so he was nice to her.
Oh, yeah. Loved her.
Oh, that's good.
Like, I remember being a kid, and he had a woodworking business.
Yeah. Huh.
And we painted his shop, and we, like, cleaned it up. Because, he's a single dude, and...
Yeah.
When guys just...
What?
The guys just shouldn't be single.
What?
Like, there's a reason why, like, guys are
What does that mean?
You guys are so dirty when girls aren't around. Maybe not you, JD, because you're a little Jersey boy, but...
What is the Jersey boy?
I feel like Jersey boys are really clean.
Really?
Am I right? Look at the bathroom here. It's immaculate.
What do you... Look at everybody. Chris is disagreeing.
Chris loves me. Do you love me, Chris?
I love
Spencer does. I think.
Both love... I think they love me more than you love me.
That's not true.
I don't know.
Stop it.
Let's take a vote.
Let's not... Stop trying to butter up the videographer here.
I like them.
All right,
I've
listen.
already checked out their gear.
Oh, you checked that? got nice gear, huh?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Look, Spencer's turning red over there. Look at him. Look at his cheeks. Oh, he's turning red. All right.
Spencer will get used to me eventually.
All right. So listen to me. So there's no, by the way, faith involved at this point at all.
No.
None. You didn't even know what or who God was. You never even heard of this guy.
No, I mean, I think everyone kind of is born with an understanding that there's something.
Yeah, there's something. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this guy, and then at what point? What point did they procreate? Are we getting down to a few years later, right?
Well, I mean, they were married for a long time before.
Really? Were they
Yeah.
trying? Just didn't happen?
Oops.
Oh, it was another oops.
Yeah, I don't know.
How old was he? Was he older than her?
Like, I don't know, by like 4 years. So I know.
Okay.
Not bad. No.
And then at this,
Maybe
so
2.
so as you move on here, you're getting into 8, 9, 10 years old. How is your life going at this point?
I was really struggling in school.
Yeah.
Like a hot mess.
Were you getting sent home? Were you getting suspended? Were you
Bro,
doing detention?
They like tried to put me in special ed classes.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause you just couldn't learn?
I just couldn't sit still. So I got diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah, right away. Did they put you on medication?
No, thank God for my stepdad. Like he actually was a really great guy. He refused to put me on medication.
Good.
And
That's rare.
Yeah.
Because usually everybody jumps at that immediately.
Right. Well, he's like, she's a kid.
Yeah.
You don't even know what this does.
Right.
Like, so, he, they had me in resource classes, special ed classes. I got really mad when I went to special ed and I threw the desk at the teacher and went back to the regular class.
Were you trying at all? You just weren't even, did you even apply yourself at all? You just couldn't.
I don't know.
No
I think that I was so angry.
Yeah.
There was so much anger in me.
Yeah.
And there was so much hurt. And, and I didn't want to feel like less than all the other kids. Like there was, and you are telling me there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
And there's not.
Right.
I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
I get bored in class.
Yeah.
Like.
Which makes sense.
Do more stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah.
So that, so I acted behaviorally. I acted out.
Yeah.
And it was a mess.
And then, okay, so moving on as far as age goes, when did you, because I remember you got into some stuff.
Yeah, so probably about junior high.
Okay.
So 6th grade, well, I started hanging out with a wrong crew around 6th grade.
Yeah.
Now back then, in the good old days, 6th grade was part of elementary school. And so I remember like the Dare people. You remember the Dare people?
That's true, because it was because the middle one was like just 7th and 8th.
Yeah, it was called junior high.
Huh. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day when I was a kid. So anyway, so 6th grade, like the Dare people came.
The what?
Dare people?
Dare people?
Yeah, like.
What does that mean?
Do you guys remember Dare? I don't even know
Dare?
what it stands for. It was like the drug awareness group. And my friends and I had dared ourselves because they would bring in real drugs to show you so you knew what it really looked like and to say no. So we stole it.
That's right. This was the Just Say No days.
Yes, Just Say No.
Remember that ridiculous campaign? Sorry.
It was bad.
It was. It's like when you just say no, it's like they're telling you to do it.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
It's like it's reverse psychology, right? It's like you might as well just
why
say
do you want
just
me to
say
say
yes.
no? Just
if they just he's too young. He doesn't
No,
know.
if they tell me to
Chris
say
knows.
yes, I'm going to do it anyways. Great, I have
That's
permission.
True. That's true. All right, so the Just Say No. So what you were daring to actually steal the drugs?
Yeah. They went missing.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What kind of drugs did they bring in?
Oh, they bring in everything.
Everything.
To show you. And they
Pot, cocaine.
Yeah. They
heroin.
even bring in like bongs and to show you, stay away from this.
This is what you want to stay away from.
Yeah.
Like what was it? Like crack?
Yeah.
Crack.
All the things.
Like actual crystallized.
Bro, yeah. With that little yellow tint.
With
Yes.
So I hear.
I mean, I've been told. I don't.
Right.
I don't
Okay.
actually.
All right. So give it to me. What happened there?
Oh, I had like one of my.
You stole it. What'd you do when you stole it?
No, why do you think it's me?
You meaning the crew?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Someone from the
Not
crew
you
stole
specifically.
it. Someone from the crew stole it.
Well, for the record, allegedly.
But at this point, well, here's the thing. Actually, I probably should need to rewind.
Yeah, rewind.
Because at this point, because I was the only white person, white girl in my school.
What was everybody else? Mexican?
Yes, or black.
Or black.
Yeah. I was beat up a lot.
Really?
Yeah. So at school,
did you defend yourself ever? Or were you just?
Well, yeah.
You did your best.
Well, and here's the thing. Well, I grew up I started doing martial arts around the age of 8.
Around 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And what forced you to do that? Was it because you were getting picked on all the time? You said,
yeah, my mom put me in it.
Really?
And then she said you could start dating when you have your black belt.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
And so what did you start with? Which art?
Tong Soo-do.
Tong Soo-do.
Yes. And actually, my instructor just made the highest ranking black belt, woman black belt.
Really? Recently? Last month?
Yeah. Super dope.
Wow. So this was age 8.
Yeah.
And you liked it right away?
Loved.
Loved it.
Yeah.
People were so the kids were already.
I was also a hot mess in there too.
You were?
Oh yeah. Well, there was no parenting happening.
The only chance you had was that probably.
Well, yeah,
Of
and
having a mentor, of someone that actually cared.
Yeah, I ended up working there too for a while too.
Wow.
So I stayed there, and then I was from 20s and 30s off and on in there.
And so age 8.
So I was getting beat up at school.
Yeah.
Kids were.
You told the what they call sensei? What do they call the Tung Sado one? Is there a different instructor?
Oh, just.
All right.
Yeah.
Whatever. Did you tell her, hey, I'm getting beat up?
No. Well, no, because it was probably after that I started going.
Yeah.
So I also didn't. I don't think I told people things because I like hid when I wasn't being heard when I was even younger.
Yeah.
So like, what is the use?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I've always,
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Because you said something to the teachers at age 5 that nobody did anything.
no one listens. So
said something to your mom. Nothing went on there.
Yeah. So, but I do remember coming home, and I know my mom almost got arrested because I was in the school. I was in the principal's office because I got jumped, like really bad. Like 6th graders jumped me, and I was in 3rd grade. And people like didn't do anything on the playgrounds, like the supervisors and stuff, right? I don't even. Yeah. Anyways,
And so you got a beat down.
Yeah, and it was.
What were they beating you down for? Just for you because you were
white.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and
just for being white. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I was like a towhead,
Yeah.
so that probably didn't help. I was probably really cute.
Yeah.
And they probably hated that I was really cute. I mean, I was a really cute kid.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
So, but anyways, I don't know. And I remember being in the principal's office and my mom yelling at the principal.
Yeah.
Like, this has been going on. Came back. Like, they threatened to call the cops on my mom.
Really?
Yeah. And they suspended me.
They suspended you after you took the beat down?
Yeah. And then we switched schools.
Yeah.
So, and then DARE happened at this new school.
Ah, DARE's happened at the new school.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And you met a crew right away. Is that the crew you started running with that wasn't so good?
Well, no. I tried to actually keep my head down because I didn't want to get picked on.
Yeah.
But I got picked on right away by this dude. It was so bad. And I was like, why? Why is that happening to me? So then,
right away.
Yeah. So then my mom started putting me in martial arts and
Well,
stuff
what did he do?
He's just a bull. He's just a dude.
Yeah.
He probably thought I was cute too. You know?
What was he saying to you? How was he picking on
Oh,
you?
he would like bump into me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he was just mean. He was just, I don't know. You name it.
Yeah.
I've been called everything, so you name it. You can't say anything
Yeah.
to me that would hurt my feelings now.
Wow. Unbelievable. So then she's like, that's it. We're going to martial arts.
Yeah. And here's the thing is I do remember getting like academic awards too. And I was a hot mess in the class, but still getting academic awards.
Wow.
Like I was on honors. Like, so it's just so strange.
Yeah.
And that was a school that I went into special ed. I remember.
The next school.
Yeah. The new one.
Yeah.
I also remember when I first got there, because I was such a mess of a kid,
Yeah.
I had a jar of like popsicle sticks. And every time I did something bad, the teacher, Mr. Burger, that's a good teacher name.
Yeah.
He would like take them out.
I think I had a Mr. Burger too.
Did you really?
I think so.
Maybe they're
For some reason it rings a bell.
Yeah, he had a mustache, kind of like Ned Flanders.
They all had mustaches back then.
Yeah, really creepy.
Yeah, nasty.
Get rid of those mustaches.
Yeah, terrible.
Sorry if you guys had mustaches.
Okay, so Mr.
Sorry, Spencer.
Oh, Spencer's growing one. He's trying it.
Well, it's blonde, so it blends in with his complexion.
I don't know. I think he's trying to grow a beard.
Just lazy.
Why are you saying trying? Why are you saying trying? It's so degrading to
I
him.
know it is. Well, that's
He has like a man facial hair. Look at him. Are you intimidated by Spencer?
Would you? This is the ultimate chop busting, ball busting session. Like, look at Chris over there. Half of it's white. Look at, what are you doing with that? Huh? 3 days, but half of it's white, half of it's black. What is that?
What's wrong with that? Some people don't
That's
care.
crazy.
Some people look at.
He's Asian.
I was going to start
He's
saying
Asian.
names.
Wolverine, right?
Listen,
Okay.
you're lucky. He is Asian. You're lucky that he doesn't have patches. No patches.
Why am I lucky? No, he does have patches. Look at there's patches
great.
everywhere. Anyway,
There's no patches.
There's patches. Look, he's got white patches all over. Look
Well, no, I mean,
now
like
that
bald
Now that I'm
patches.
looking at it, did you notice this? Look at his beard.
Leave Chris alone.
Look at Spencer. Look at his right side.
Chris, are you Filipino?
Look, Japanese. Same
Japanese.
thing. Same thing.
My husband was
Korean, Japanese, whatever.
My husband was born in Japan.
Was
You
he
can't
really?
say that.
Yes,
JD.
I can. My wife's Asian. I can say anything
Oh
that has to do
my
with Asian.
gosh, my husband's Asian. And
Yeah. See, I can say anything.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You're
I
gonna
can
go
make
down a
any
bad hole.
stereotype.
You're not gonna be able to even put this on.
I can make any stereotypical joke about Asians because I'm married to an Asian. That's just the way it goes. Seriously, that's the rules, isn't it?
Not everybody agrees with that.
Okay. All right. So get back. Where were we? We were.
These guys don't care.
We were in the crew. The guy that picked on you.
Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah. So then I was like, by the way, he ended up being a total dweeb and nerd in
really?
high school. Yeah. So it was
what
kind
a-
of like great revenge.
Came full circle.
Yeah. But
So give me the martial arts. How did that progress?
So I loved it. Like I was breaking boards when I was like a little turd, and yeah.
Yep. And so did any of the kids at the school hear that you were doing that? Saying, "Oh, what are you trying to get tough now?" And
No.
you know how that goes, right? They hear you're doing something.
Nobody cared back then.
But did they hear you were doing a martial arts? Did they?
I don't think so.
No. But then at what point were you able to really defend yourself and it came into play?
Listen, I'm just an aggressive person.
I know that.
Like I got street smarts.
Yes.
So at
Clearly.
some point, I probably, I don't know, but I don't like hurting people.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
either.
So I'm not.
I don't like hurting people either. It's not fun.
I have only hurt somebody who's come after me.
Right.
And then I'll beat your face in.
Yeah.
So
do you remember anybody that came at you and you beat their face in? Let me rephrase the question. Do you distinctly remember anybody coming at Fiona after you're now a martial artist and you beat their face in?
No.
No? Tell me a story here where you beat somebody down, where it came full circle and you're like,
Well, the only time
hiya.
I remember, like one of my
Chris,
first.
how's it go? You're from Japan. Hiya. Is that it? Okay.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Hey, my wife's
Chris,
Asian.
you don't have to take that.
My wife's Asian.
My gosh.
Okay. You don't remember any situation
I
where you had to use
remember
it?
losing a fight, and my mom said, "You're not allowed to lose a fight." I remember, but this is like high schools when I start getting into that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you're becoming a martial artist at this point. You're in the bad. You're in the bad crew.
I was a kid that was going to karate, bro.
Martial artist, like.
Oh my gosh, you crack me.
I know. All right, so all right, so give it to me. You get into high school. What happened?
So I started, junior high. So junior high. Oh, you know what? Here's a beat up story for you.
Give it to me.
Okay, so junior high. Give it to me.
Yes.
He's so
Come on.
excited. So this kid, by this point, my brother probably was in 7th grade. My brother was born.
Okay.
And
Was that a shock? You're like, whoa.
well, I mean, I was actually really excited.
I was gonna say, were you excited?
I was so obsessed with him, so
That's
obsessed.
nice.
I loved him.
Yay.
I used to, I like actually ran home from school and would take care of him until one day I was like, I'm a kid, I can't do this. But yeah, but so this dude.
Was your mom still working at the bar at this point?
It's a restaurant. It's a family restaurant.
Whatever.
Not
A bar with a restaurant with a
There's
bar.
no bar there.
No bar. There was no
It was
bar
like
in
a
the restaurant.
Denny's. No, it was like a Denny's. It was
Oh,
like
I
a
thought
true
I
family
thought
restaurant.
everybody went there because it was a bar.
No, they just
They were getting liquored up every night.
they just ate food and
They didn't drink.
no,
There was no booze there.
no, I don't think so.
That's bizarre, isn't it? Right?
It's like-
didn't you think it was a bar? No. All right.
Huh.
Forget it. Don't. I'm not asking Spencer anything again.
I like Spencer.
Yeah. All right. So you're telling me that it was just a restaurant?
Yeah, just a regular family restaurant. But everybody, like, this is where you go and eat. Like, we go out to eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody ends their day at this
At this
restaurant.
place. Okay, the restaurant. I'm glad we clarified that because here I am thinking it's some bar.
Yeah,
People
bro.
getting all liquored up. The guy at the end is the same guy. They're sliding it down the bar. You know, it's the same with the
They
drink.
did have a bar stools that you could sit
I
at,
knew
but
it.
you
I
ate
knew
cinnamon
it.
rolls.
I knew it.
You didn't
You were
drink.
holding back on me.
You didn't
Why are you
drink.
holding back the bar story?
There's no bar. I have bar stories.
Okay. All right. So go on. So your brother's born.
Yeah, and this kid made fun of me. And
What
and
kid?
I'm not gonna say names.
I mean, where are we at? Where are
We're
we
in
at
junior
right now?
high. I'm
Junior
in 7th
high.
grade.
Okay.
I mean, at home, like, anyways, this kid makes fun of me and makes fun of my brother, and I just like snapped, and he said something about my little brother or whatever like that. And I just snapped. And at the end of class, I was like, "You don't ever talk about my family." And I smashed his head into the side of the portable multiple times.
The portable?
Well, yeah, because like back then,
A porta potty?
A portable. Like schools were poor, so you didn't have like a building.
Porta potty.
No, the classrooms.
What's a portable?
You guys know what portables are? I think so. Yeah, so it's like
doesn't.
it's a
That means he
trailer.
doesn't know.
It's a trailer that classes.
He's going to back up anything you say. I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I
you
paid
don't
him
even know.
to do that at the beginning.
So
Like,
what's
I
a
slipped him
portable? The
$100.
portable building?
Yeah. So it's like a trailer, and they put a classroom inside of
a
it.
trailer. Okay.
So, but they're called portables.
Okay. So you slammed his head in the side
Yeah,
of it?
so hard that the teacher came out and was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing."
And what did he do? What did the kid do?
Never talk trash again.
Isn't that great? See, now we're talking here. I love that. Okay, so, all right, go on.
All right. Then what?
Let's get to the next phase.
What's the next phase?
When do you start getting into some drugs? Do you get into drugs?
Wow.
Because I know it's involved. I know. I remember the over.
Well, I quit martial arts to run track.
Okay. What belt did you get to?
I was like, I don't know, green 3.
Yeah.
It took me a long time because I was having behavioral issues there too.
Yeah.
They saw how much of a hot mess
They
my
did.
family. Yeah, oh, yeah. We talk about it now to this day.
Really?
They're still alive. Yeah.
Really?
And so I was like, they called me the push-up queen because every time I got in trouble at martial arts, I had to do push-ups. So I quit, and then I started doing track. Fell in love with running.
Really?
Yeah, love to run.
No kidding.
That's like my goal.
How did that happen?
I was like, I want to try out for track, and I love sprinting long distance. I'm really good at it. I'm
Like
really
400 meter? What
yeah,
was your?
yeah. I have medals.
The 400 was your thing?
Yeah.
Did you go 800 or
And shot put.
1600?
No,
Shot put?
they didn't have the 1600 really back then.
Yeah. Okay.
So
You do anything shorter? 200, 100, just 400?
nope, just long distance.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
long distance sprint.
So you got into that. Now this is junior high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then started dating.
Ooh.
Yeah,
How'd that go?
I mean, I'm not with them anymore.
I know
so,
that.
You know,
I'm not with them anymore.
so I don't know. Just like junior high is middle school, right? Because now
So
it's
do you
middle
remember
school.
your first love? Like, did you actually fall in love? That must have been a big thing, like hard, because you didn't trust men at all.
Yeah, I don't.
Right?
Ernie was my first love.
For real?
I would say so.
Or is this just for the record?
No, 100%.
Really?
Yep,
Your actual first love?
100%.
No kidding. Oh,
Yeah. I
that's
mean, we
so
met in high
nice.
school.
You met in high school?
Yeah, we were best friends in high school.
What?
Yeah, we started dating
I don't
after we
think-
graduated.
I don't think I realized that. Either
You
that or
didn't listen to my life
either that or I
mapping in
forgot. I
class.
was too stuck on the drug stuff.
Yeah, apparently you really were pushing me to go there.
I wanted karate beatdowns, drug stuff, karate, beatdowns. That's anyway.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
All right, this guy. Okay, so a couple boyfriends here, junior high, and then
Yeah.
how's high school going?
Well, in junior high is actually when I started getting around with the really wrong crowd.
In junior high,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to have to walk through a neighborhood where all the drug dealers were.
to get home.
Yeah. So between like my freshman year was horrible. Like
Why was it
I was
horrible?
a beast.
Why?
I was totally involved in drugs. I didn't
In
have to
what
pay
way?
for anything
Why didn't you have to pay?
because I was cool.
Because you were cool.
Yeah.
Now you're at the point where you got a swagger, huh? What was the turning point? What was the turning point where all of a sudden you went from the girl who got beat down all the time?
I think junior high because everybody was scared of me in junior high.
Why were they scared of you? Because you were known as the what is it called?
No,
Master?
people. Well, I think maybe due to residue or so Latvians are very intimidating people anyways.
Yeah.
They're like cold. They're not like these warm people. And then you have a girl who was like abused her whole entire life.
Yeah.
Like it's just residue.
Yeah.
So I do know people when I step into a room, I have to be, even now, like still have to be responsible for how I'm presented in a room.
Yeah.
Because people are scared.
Yeah.
Or intimidated.
Yeah.
So that was my whole entire school life.
So junior high, that started to come out.
Well, probably beating up the kid didn't help.
Didn't hurt.
Well,
didn't hurt your reputation.
I have struggled a long time with being seen this way.
Yeah.
Because that's not like who I actually am.
Yeah.
So, but I had my group of friends. They loved me. I tried out for volleyball, but the teacher didn't like me because he was my math teacher. So I didn't make it. Whatever.
Oh, that seems like that hurt, didn't it? It
Whatever.
still hurts. Look at that.
Bro.
Out
of all the things, that's going to hurt me.
I know, but you brought it up.
No, but like that's like distinctive things I remember.
Yeah. Okay, so.
I remember also my science teacher was super creepy and would hit on all the girls.
Are you kidding me?
Eventually he got fired.
Really?
I don't know what it was about, but.
Probably because he hit on all the girls. All right, so you said you'd walk through the drug neighborhood.
Yeah, so I walked.
And you would
that was
get
like
drugs
a
for
shortcut.
free.
Yeah, or you like, the ice cream man sold drugs. Like that's just like what we grew up in. I grew up in. He did. Yeah.
Out of the ice cream truck.
Yeah.
I never San Marcos.
Yes, and now San Marcos is beautiful.
Yeah.
San Alejo is built.
Yeah.
Our church is there.
Our church is there. It's done a full 180. All right, so give me the drug thing. You were on the way there. You started dabbling.
Well, I think my biggest like hit with it was really my freshman year.
Yeah.
So I was the kid that got it all out in 1 year. So I just went bananas and did everything under the sun. I think probably was going through puberty at the time, whatever, you know what I mean? Trying to figure out who you are, and just went off the hinges. And
what were you doing?
Crystal meth. Cocaine.
Meth.
I hated smoking weed.
Why did you hate smoking weed?
Never liked downers. Didn't really like
you
drinking.
You like something that just got you going, speed.
Yeah, I could like clean my room.
And so crystal meth was your thing, and you would snort it?
Yes, or smoke it.
Uh-huh. Crystal meth is a big thing, huh? San Diego's like one of the crystal meth capital of the world, isn't it, San Diego?
Well, San Marcos was the crystal meth capital. Right. And teen pregnancy capital growing up.
San Marcos was?
Yes.
Because I remember I heard many, many years ago how PB was really bad.
Oh, well, it's PB.
But San Marcos, man, it's bad, huh?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is I grew up like San Marcos. Here's a picture of what San Marcos was. I would hear like gunshots every night. We lived in the only gated, and now I think it's still the only gated apartment complex, which it doesn't really help because you just hop over.
Yeah.
Drugs were rampant. Teen pregnancy was at an all-time high.
Yeah.
People, you don't send your kids to San Marcos. Like, ugh.
There was gunshots every night.
SWAT team across the street. The neighbor, my mom was walking in the middle of the day because her shift starts at 2. So she's walking to work, and the neighbor downstairs is like shooting a sawed-off shotgun in his own like apartment and kills his roommate. And like that's what San Marcos was.
And so you said you got it all out of your system in 1 year.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad.
Give me one bad story that you remember. You up for like how many days? A week?
Well, I weighed probably 86 pounds. And I was probably...
You probably weren't eating much.
No. And I would I would ask to eat in my room. And my stepdad's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Because, whatever.
Yeah.
And I would put it in a grocery bag and tie it and put it under my bed so I could throw it away in the morning when I walked to school.
Really? Because you just weren't even hungry.
No.
Doing that much crystal meth, you're not even hungry at all.
No, not at all.
And you were doing it morning, lunch, and night? Or
yes, I would do it at school all the time.
Even at school?
Yeah.
Was your whole crew doing it?
See, when you say whole crew...
I mean the people you're hanging out with.
Yeah, I hung out with a lot of gangbangers.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Actual gangbangers?
Yeah.
And what kind of gang were they? What were they doing?
I kicked it with a few Crips.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How did you get in with them?
I was probably really cute. And I'm also like go big or go home kind of personality. Yeah. You know this.
Yeah.
So like, I have no clue actually how they looked great. I don't know. I dated.
You dated what?
One of them. A few of them.
One of them. A few of them.
A few of them.
And what would you guys do? Like what kind of gang stuff did they do?
Normal gang stuff.
Steal stuff,
Yeah.
drugs,
Drive-bys.
drive-bys. What were they drinking? 40s? What kind of booze were they drinking?
Well, we used to have have you heard of Jungle Juice?
Uh-huh.
So where they you get a big trash bag,
Yeah.
and you dump. We used to have those parties.
No kidding.
And that was actually one of those parties was the first time I did crystal meth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
I actually crazy know the kid, thinking of it, know the kid too. But here's the thing is after I went to my freshman year, I looked in the mirror and I saw my mom in the mirror.
Ooh.
And I said, I don't want that life. I want to break the cycles of my family.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to rehab.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You put yourself in rehab?
Pretty much, yeah.
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 So
and then I did a live-in 2-week live-in facility. So
And this was freshman year.
this is after my freshman year.
Were people in your life telling you that you needed help or?
Well, I mean, let's be really honest. At this point, I'm running away at night. I'm sneaking out at night.
Yeah.
I got busted once. They found my journal.
What do you mean you got busted? Give me that story.
Well, I would sneak out, and then my friends would pick me up. I would meet them at the front of the apartments, right?
Yeah.
Hop over at the fence, and we would go do our shenanigans, and then they would drop me off, and I'd climb back up because I had my own balcony. Who gives a girl a balcony?
I don't know.
With a tree next to it, and
Might as well just put a ladder.
bro.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was.
Might as
So
well just put an escalator there and just
Right? I mean, you could say that was my martial arts skill I got, being a ninja, scaling up and down. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, easy.
So anyways, apparently one night they figured out I wasn't there, and they parked our parking spot was right where my room was.
Yeah.
So they waited for me, but my stepdad fell asleep, so he didn't actually see me go in. And then I was just pretended to be asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then what? Did they take you down or what did they do?
They screwed all the doors and windows shut in my room.
Are you kidding me?
From the inside or outside.
They screwed them in.
Mm-hmm.
And so you look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Saw your mom.
Yep.
Frightened you. How did you know where to go, for rehab? This is, by the way, kind of a miracle, in my opinion, because I haven't really heard of a story where usually it takes everybody in your life to do an intervention to tell you you've got a problem. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure my parents found the rehab too.
For a kid to actually look in the mirror and say, you know what, I got to make a move here.
Yeah, sure.
And so you do the rehab.
Yeah.
What happens after that?
So this rival gang member asked me to go to youth group. She went to rehab during the same time. Hated her. She also tried to take my boyfriend. It's busted a Sobe bottle on the side. I mean, come at me then.
Really?
Courtyard, yeah. And
wait. The rival gang member took you to, what was it again?
Youth group.
Youth group.
Yeah, she bugged me for 3 months. And I was like, no, I don't want to go.
Explain youth group.
Youth group is like church. It's like my city, at our church. So it's just where.
And why was she telling you to go there?
She went there. She started going to church. Her parents came from church.
And you didn't like her?
No. But to get her to shut up, I went.
Okay.
And never stopped going.
And you loved it?
Yeah, they were really cool people. They were
felt
normal.
Right.
They were normal.
This was a youth group?
Yeah. It was in a pool house.
Yeah.
Actually, over by where the house I live now. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so do you look back and you're thankful for this girl?
Yeah, totally.
So
and
where
we
did this go now?
got baptized together.
Get out of here.
Yeah. We
So
became really
she got out of the gang, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
And she went into rehab as well. Did you inspire her to go to rehab?
No, she went when I went.
Really?
So we both get out, and she reaches. I don't know. She just randomly reached out to me.
No way.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get into high school. I mean, we're now going into high school.
So
right?
now I'm going into sophomore year, and nobody knows what to do with me because now I went from this gangbanger to this ska Christian chick.
And so when did you get baptized?
Probably my sophomore year.
Sophomore year.
Yeah.
And were people making fun of you for that, or nobody
No,
knew?
no.
What about the,
Anytime.
what about the gangs? Because when you go down with a gang, no.
No, they all left. So there was like a riot they were all older than me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then there was like a riot at our school. Some dude made fun of me. I told my crew. They like confronted him in the whole courtyard because it was like the Mexicans, the skater boys, like they all just went at it in this massive fight, like brawled out, like just
You're kidding me.
insane. Yeah. So like, but they were gone.
Yeah.
So the school's trying to get rid of them anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So.
And so then getting into high school, now you now went from this hot mess to a Christian.
Totally. And it was like a 180 over a summer.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like incredible.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But nobody knew what to do with me. So I still walk down the halls of high school and like, it's like a C, like it splits. Like nobody, and then people who did try to make fun of me.
Yeah.
I was like.
They got a beat down.
Yeah. Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you. Like. You know,
oh my god!
But nobody, and I actually didn't know this until like I was much later into high school and was like, I don't know, I just don't know why. Like, and someone was like, nobody knows what to do with you, Fiona. You were this, and now you're this.
Yeah. How are classes going? How is school going?
Yeah,
Yeah. And so, when did you meet the big man?
Ernesto. So we actually had government class together.
Yep.
Our senior year. That's how I met him.
Now, anything that you can share with this initial journey with the church that was profound, besides getting baptized, besides going there, any moment that you can remember during the stretch of sophomore year to senior year with the youth group that was really profound, someone that came into your life besides the girl that brought you there.
Totally.
Anybody that was in your, like a pastor, anybody that made such an impression.
Totally.
That you almost felt was like your actual true parent or something?
I think that there were many people involved in that. My the youth group leader, his name was Fred. He like came out of prison and he was like the jolliest, happiest, joyful dude ever. Like so sweet. And he actually is the one, like I slipped up 3 months into like going to church or whatever, right? Yeah. I slipped up and I started hanging out with my friends. I did a couple lines. And then I went, oh my God, it's Wednesday. Youth group is today. So I start taking shots thinking if I take shots, it's going to lower it down. I walked into that room and people's faces were morphing and I was so like, just keep it cool. You just, an hour and a half, you just got to keep it cool.
Yeah.
Just keep it cool. Nobody will know. Nobody will know. And then the youth leader is like, hey, like, you want to sit by the pool? I want to talk to you and Bonnie, the girl that brought me. And
did she relapse too?
No, nobody knew.
Okay.
I'm so good at hiding things.
Yeah.
And she was like, or he goes, hey, you guys have been coming here for like 3 months. Like, do you guys want to know who Jesus is? And I was like, yes, I do. Because I am so jacked up right now. Yeah. And I'm so filled with paranoia and the things I'm seeing right now. And I've seen some really crazy things. I've like been up so many nights doing so many things. I've seen like
How many nights in a row did you go without sleep, you think?
I've done like 2-3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah. But
with no sleep?
Yeah. And there was one time I had to call somebody to come and pick me up because there was like demons coming out of my walls and like these shadows trying to get me from, it was just crazy.
You're lucky to be alive.
Oh, 1,000%.
2 to 3 weeks with no sleep, crystal meth all day, all night.
I would in the morning do a line. You'd go through 2 classes. You would have your break. I would do a line at break. You go through 3 classes, have your lunch or 2, depending on what lunch you had. Yeah. I would do a line and then.
And crystal meth, not even Coke, because Coke was too expensive.
Well, I did Coke too.
Of course.
But I didn't pay for anything.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Like 8 balls were nothing.
Nothing.
And then at the end, like, of the day, I know this is so bad. I'm like 14.
I looked over at Spencer. He goes,
I'm going to have to take a potty break too. I have kids, so I'm going to have to take a potty break soon.
Okay.
You have me drinking all this water today.
I'm not having you do anything. You do whatever you want.
Your text message said, do an extra liter today.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, so, and then I would go home and I would be fine. I would pretend to do my homework at the restaurant, do a line there, and then be like, okay, for the rest of the day, go to bed, do a line, and journal and draw and do whatever.
So you literally wouldn't even sleep.
No.
What were you doing in bed? You were just journaling and
drawing or.
And so when they found your journal, by the way, because I remember you mentioning that that you were journaling what you were actually doing.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So dumb.
Yikes.
I also had like a mallet, like a meat mallet in between my mattresses. Do you have meat mallets here in between the mattresses?
What? Meat mallet?
Yeah.
No.
Like the big, huge like,
For what?
butcher knife. I don't know. Apparently I thought I needed it.
You mean like a cleaver?
Yeah.
For what?
I don't know. It was next to my
for
journal.
defense?
Yeah, you never know. I was a tweaker. You never know who's going to come up that window. You
were full on tweaker.
Oh, so bad.
Okay, so the guy says
I rebuilt computers.
You did?
Yeah. And radios. Full on. This sounds really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
Well,
That's crazy.
Well,
Okay, so the guy says, do you want to see Jesus?
Yeah, and I say yes, and we pray, and instantly when I said amen, I was sober. And everything that I was hallucinating went away.
You're kidding me.
Dead serious.
Did he know you were
No.
bonkers at that point? He didn't?
I don't think nobody said anything to me.
And what was the prayer about? Like, how did that...
It was the salvation prayer.
Yeah.
Like, I accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior. I repent of my sins. Come into my heart.
And you were
amen.
Right,
and
yeah, amen. And
right there, gone.
You're kidding me.
All the hallucinations. And I was like, I was tripping me out.
Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah. So gone.
And so, okay, then what did you do after that point?
Well, I become really involved in the church. Yep. I become like a student lead. A new youth pastor comes on and changed my world. He's incredible. Really? He also was really cute.
Oh,
yeah.
Of course.
And he was like quirky. Like he had like a VW bus.
Yeah.
And spit sunflower seeds out of it. Like just this jolly, like happy dude. Really talented in music, which I really loved.
Yeah.
So,
and
taught me how to play guitar.
He did.
Yeah.
And so this guy had a huge impact.
Totally.
And how old is he?
Oh, he's an adult.
Yeah.
I had no
20?
chance. No, I mean
25, 30?
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
He's also the worship leader at our church. It was a small church.
He was the worship leader.
Yeah, worship leader and youth
can
pastor.
Can you tell me the name of this church by any chance?
Wellsprings, but it's not alive anymore.
Wellsprings.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in Escondido.
Escondido.
I wish you were from here because I'd be like, hey, you know where the Dollar Theater was?
I was here. I've been here 30 years, but I would.
You're not going to know where Dollar Theater is. Escondido,
I don't know
off a Rose.
Yeah, I don't know anything about up north at all.
Good.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Other than your story and our church.
Are we going to do a potty break?
You want to? Go ahead.
Okay.
And we're back. All right. So where were we? High school?
Yeah, youth leader.
Youth leader. Okay. Give it to me.
He was great. We actually did a lot of really cool things.
Yeah.
So we made a Christian nightclub.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was really cool. I was a security guard for it.
No way.
Bro.
That's perfect.
I'm like dumb strong for a chick.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So then give me when does Padaon come into the picture here?
Well, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so he comes in senior year. We have a class, we have government together.
Yep.
During that time, my mom actually, it must have been my first day of senior year or in the middle of my junior year, my mom actually leaves my stepdad. And huge blowout.
Oh, wow.
Cops come.
Really?
I was late for school and this stupid.
Why'd the cops come?
Well, my stepdad strangled my mom. He blacked out.
He blacked out?
Yeah. And strangled my mom.
Because he wasn't abusive before, right?
No, not at all.
Oh, man.
But she was so she's had flashbacks, PTSD, held a gun to his head. So there's, there's stuff happening in our house. You know what I mean? We just became a family and I think my mom really struggled. If you live in chaos your entire life, it is the hardest thing to learn to live in peace.
Right.
Right? Because it's uncomfortable. So it's when you have somebody who talks a lot and then all of a sudden they're quiet, you're like, why are you quiet?
Yeah.
This is weird. What?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. So, I think a lot of that happened that night. My mom's boyfriend moves in. So.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Your boyfriend
My
boyfriend moves
yeah.
in.
Yes, the same night she got rid of my.
The same night.
Oh, I didn't know they were dating. To be fair, he was just there to protect us, and my brother
Would she call him? Where did he come from?
She probably called him. Yeah, like he lived down the street. I don't know. Everybody knew everybody. Like St. Marcos was really small.
They're all at the restaurant.
Yeah, they're all at the restaurant. He was a customer.
Another customer.
Yeah.
Wow. So he moves in the same night. But did the cops take the other guy away?
Yeah. So the cops took my stepdad away. My little brother was 3, and I remember yelling at the cops, like, how could you do this? You're breaking up our family, and da 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 da. And then I had to walk to school. I actually had a friend who I went to martial arts with.
Yeah.
Who went to school with me. Sorry, don't move. Sorry. Who went to school with me. And he said, like, he came and picked me up and took me to school. I was late. The principal yelled at me for being late, and I blew up. Yeah, it wasn't good.
So this was when...
And I'm a Christian. I'm
Yeah.
going to church. I'm taking this, like, city bus to church.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, yeah. So this was probably... It was either the beginning of my senior year or... I'm going to say it was the beginning of my senior year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this is it. The cops took him away.
Yep.
And you were upset about that, obviously.
Yeah, because we had like major turmoil.
Yeah.
Because I was on drugs and I was doing this,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? And we finally like became a family. It was like for the first time life was normal. Like I always wanted it to be.
Wow.
I always desired to have a normal family.
And it finally had some
normalcy and
Normalcy,
stability, and
yeah.
we all loved each other, and we were getting along, and there was no fighting, and there was no
And then that happened.
Yep.
What sparked it?
My mom didn't come home one night, and my stepdad, I remember him sitting on the edge of my bed, like, I hope your mom knows that I love her so much.
He kind of had an idea, huh?
He knew. I think he was the product of that too.
Right. Yeah.
I think there was multiple products.
You think he had something going on too?
No. But I think my mom had a lot of pain. So.
Okay. Yeah. And so he knew it, huh?
Yep. So, and then she came home the next morning.
Yeah. And that's when
it all happened. I was getting ready for school. I looked out, and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Hi." Like,
yeah.
You're just coming home?
Yeah.
And
that's when he blew up.
She went upstairs. She asked for a divorce, and he blew up.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
He doesn't remember doing what he did.
And do you still talk to him to this day?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. He was just at Christmas with my kids.
You're kidding me.
He's G-Daddy. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Wow. So he's going to hear this. Most likely.
We'll see.
We'll see. Oh, boy.
Well, I'm not saying anything that's...
No, I know you're smart. You wouldn't say anything that's too incriminating.
Being respectful.
There you go. All right. So what I wanted to hear is, because what you've gone through.
Because Chris told you to stop talking about my life story.
No, he didn't. No, he did not. He knows better than he doesn't tell me anything anymore.
I love Chris.
Because after we already changed the life forever in one podcast before it launches, they're not going to question me again.
But they shouldn't question you because this is your vision, right?
Exactly.
Not that I'm poking the bear, but
yeah. So anyway, no,
just
this is so.
You should have your chain on.
Oh yeah. I kind of hide it a little bit.
You shouldn't.
All right.
You need to be authentically you.
Oh yeah, authentically. That's part of what I say about the podcast.
Yeah.
Authenticity. No, but what's coming to me here is while you're talking is, because you and I even talked before, you was like, I don't even know what to talk about. I'm like, well, we're gonna dig in the backstory, and then it's gonna come to us.
Yeah.
Because what you went through is, I'm not gonna say it's common, but I'm not gonna say it's completely uncommon with a child that had a very rough household, an abusive household.
Yeah.
Let's talk about abusive, right?
Yeah.
So I was watching something today where it was like 1 in 4 or 1 in 5. And actually, I think it was Carrie that mentioned it. It was Carrie that mentioned it that said 1 in 4, 1 in 5 women, right?
Yeah. 1 in 4 women live in a domestic violence situation.
Isn't that crazy that today I tuned into her thing and saw that? And Carrie, I know she's watching. So Carrie, this is Carrie. She's phenomenal.
Carrie.
We love you. She was in the Pathfinder, my class. She's going to be
such a boss.
She is. She
has big things coming her way.
Big things. She's going to be sharing her story. She's coming on this show.
Yes.
I'm just kind of letting this thing flow a little bit because I want her, because I know when she's starting to share her story more publicly, which is an incredible story, and I can't wait to. But I want her to. Anyway, it's funny that I saw that today. Yeah. And so my point is, I want to dig deep here on what would you like getting through this and out the other side? What has it done for you as a woman? Because here we introduced you as this very, very successful business owner, entrepreneur that has going on track to do 700 to 1,000 weddings a year with a wedding photography business. That's insane, which is why I always like to say that in the beginning of the podcast.
And that's just only the photography side.
That's just the photography. That's not even counting the other stuff, quote unquote, that you're gonna get into. Yeah. I mean, you guys are literally just warming up. Like, this is just, we all are. I feel this crew that we're all together, that have attracted each other into our lives. God has put us together because now we're all feeding off each other. Hence why I started this podcast, is because of the Pathfinder program.
Yeah, love it.
So that's what kind of gave me the belief in myself, because everybody's now in my class and at the church believing in me. So it's given me the confidence to do this. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying is, what would you say, like, that was your turning point, or for someone that's watching this that had this, they can't shake it. Because it's got to be, it's traumatic. It's still in your brain. It's still there. Like, what can you share? And of course, we want to get into Ernie, like what role he played in your life. Because for him to be your first love, how did that happen? Like, how was Ernie your first love? Let's start there, actually. Now that it's coming out of my mouth, how did he become your first love? How did you trust a man finally?
I didn't trust Ernie for a long time. I didn't trust anybody for a long time.
So who hit on who? Let's start there.
Oh, gosh. Well, I went into foster care when I was 16.
You did?
Yes.
We skipped over that.
There's a lot that happened in my world.
You skipped over foster care?
Well.
Oh, my. That's on me. I'm slipping.
Yeah, slipping.
Somehow I let foster care slip through.
He thought he was good at peeling back layers.
Yeah, let's go. But I got there.
All right. So I went
16?
in. So when my mom's and her boyfriend lived with me, they decided... it depends on who you ask the story, but I was not welcomed at the home.
Yeah.
I was not
liked. This is when you're going through your drugs.
No, I'm a Christian. Yeah, I'm a Christian. Wow. I know comments were made from adults to my friends of, hey, I had a friend that lived in our apartment complex, because we never moved apartment complex. We stayed in the same spot. And she was going through rehab and all this stuff, and she was told by adults in my world, hey, you better tell Fiona what it's like to live in a group home, because that's where she's going. So seems to be this plot, and sure enough, there's a big blowout at the house. There's a couple big blowouts.
What does that mean?
So my mom, there was fights that were picked. And
with you?
Yes.
And her?
Yes.
Her picking them with you?
And her boyfriend. And
the new guy.
I just remember, however it happened, right? I remember wanting to get out of the house. I remember internally talking to myself, like, it's your mom.
Yeah.
You can't hurt your mom.
Yeah.
So get her out of your way. So I remember pushing her out of the way for me to try to get to the door, because I needed to get out, because I knew it wasn't safe.
Yeah.
And I was thrown onto the ground. My mom was on me, punching me, and her boyfriend was trying to break my kneecap. So I slipped my foot out and I sidekicked that dude in the nuts, and he went down and called the cops.
And so this is the boyfriend after
my stepdad.
After your stepdad.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things. We're okay now.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, I was the only one that showed up to help them move. They moved, out of state. And it's
okay. So the big blowout.
Yeah. So then one day at school, I'm trying to talk to. So at this point, I'm like in leadership in the Christian club, even at our school.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like the fighting Christian. I'm like the Paul. Like if you read the Bible, Paul is like the guy is like, don't treat Jesus that way. I'm that person, right? Because people are like coming and spitting on us when we're having prayer, and I'm like, don't spit on my friend, I'll beat you. I was that person. And the detective, so this is when I was going to school, they started putting officers on schools.
Yeah.
So the detective was a Christian, and he was the ambassador. Him and my English teacher were the ambassadors, like, the academic teachers that were in charge of our club.
Yeah.
And I went to him and said, things aren't safe at my home. I need help. I need help. I need help. And he didn't listen. And then my mom called the juvenile court system and said, I don't want my daughter anymore.
Really?
Yep. So they came to pick me up at school, and I was supposed to have a meeting with him. I was in one of my favorite teacher's classes. I was his teacher aide. And here comes Detective Massey into the class and was like, oh, can I talk to Fiona for a little bit? Bring your stuff. And he goes, what's going on at home? And I said, what happened? Did my mom call?
Yeah.
And I said, did my mom just give me up? Like I knew.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, so there's officers here to take you down to juvenile hall. And I was like, okay. He's like, I'm not supposed to let you call anybody, but is there somebody we can call? And so I called. I was hanging out with this church family who became my foster parents.
Yeah.
I was mentoring their daughter, really incredible couple. And they, he let me call them, and they tried to drive down and see me, and couldn't happen. But I also tried to tell, like, oh, this story actually is way deeper, because I was on informal probation from that fight. My mom, after that fight, she didn't get her way. The cops told her, hey, you need to learn how to be a mom. She shipped me to Nebraska, where her family is from, which...
She shipped you to Nebraska?
Yeah, I would say the summers there. Like, she sent me to Nebraska because she couldn't handle me.
In the summers?
Yeah, specifically this time.
Yeah.
And when I got there, they saw all these bumps and bruises and everything all over me, and they were like, what is happening? What did you do to your daughter?
Yeah.
And then it was me turning them against her.
Yeah.
Or I feel like that's how it was interpreted.
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything, I did ask my aunt to adopt me, but she just couldn't, because it's just like, that's a hard family line to cross. Right. Yeah. And actually gratefully so, because, I wouldn't have been in class with Ernie.
That's right. So
when all that happened, they pressed charges, my mom, and
this was after the blowout.
This is like the blowout. I go to Nebraska. No, boyfriend.
The boyfriend. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. So blowout. They send me to Nebraska. They press charges. I end up on informal probation. They call the juvenile system. I was supposed to go to counseling, and I kept telling I was also supposed to do community service. So I did all my community service, but my mom refused to go to counseling with me. Well, that made me default. So then I ended up in court. And then my mom said this, and that. She doesn't come home. She avoids me. And I said, it's really hard to live in a house where you're picked on all the time.
Yeah.
And then from there, she just called and said, come get my daughter. I can't deal with it. And I was on house arrest, I think, at that point.
You're on house arrest.
Yeah, because my mom said, oh, she's just like coming and going, and I'm like, I asked permission for everything. Can I stay at Aaron's house? I'm in the complex, and I'm hanging out with like my video game friend. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and this was when you were like with the church, church leader. Totally.
So my youth leader, my youth pastor, who was also the worship pastor, actually, when we went to court, so I went to juvenile hall. I was there for 9 days. They were going to leave me there. And thank goodness I am made the way I am, because as a kid, right? You're a kid.
Yeah.
I looked at my public defender and said, look at me. I do not belong here. You will get me out today. Like, we will wait.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we're waiting for your psych evals. I'm like, you need to get them. I cannot go back. And because everybody else, like, I'm in the worst wing, like, the things I've seen at that wing, like, you can't even talk about. And that's in, like, the juvenile court system, you know?
That's what's happening.
Oh, it's horrible. Like, one girl, yeah, I just can't even go there.
Yeah, give me one. One. Come on, give me
I
one
mean,
story.
well, you definitely have your fights
Yeah.
and stuff like that and your beat downs, but, like, there was one girl that was on duty to clean the bathrooms, and another girl didn't like her, and she was pregnant, and we'll just say that she ended up losing her baby.
Oh, man.
You know, and that was like, and I'm this Christian girl now who came out of this life, and now why am I here?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
anyways, so the court system actually said that I was not allowed to actually live with my mom. Like, it was.
They actually said that.
Yeah, they said it was unhealthy.
And for
my safety.
for your well-being.
Yes.
So it finally kind of came out the truth.
Yeah. So
Right.
then my foster parents, so the girl that was like my friend, and, you know, they started coming to the church or whatever, and was mentoring her. Like, she was one of my students, and we hit it off, and I would be at their house all the time. So they're the ones that I called that actually stepped in and said, we'll take her. Tell us what we need to do to become foster parents.
This was the one with the church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They
Yep.
came in.
Yep. And my youth pastor actually, he could have, lost his job, but he actually, was at trial and spoke for me and stuff like that. Yeah.
And the trial was to have you go with the foster parents?
The trial was to determine whether I could go home or not.
Ah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And
So I think it kind of backfired. Their plan kind of backfired.
It did, huh?
I think so.
And so then they became your foster parents. And then how many years did that go on?
So I was probably with him for a couple years. Yeah. And then...
Did your mom try to contact you? Were you in
No.
contact with your mom at all?
No. I tried to contact her.
Yeah.
Because she's my mom.
Yeah.
And, never went well. It was just awkward. And
did you try to go see her at the restaurant?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
You just tried to call her?
Yep.
And it didn't go well?
Nope.
So for 2 years?
The only thing I had is, I just need your tax information so I can write you off on my taxes.
That's what she said?
Yeah.
That's what she would tell you?
Well, the first time I tried to contact her. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff.
So how did you feel at that point?
I mean...
Because you went from finally some normalcy.
So here's the thing and this is why I think I am who I am.
Yeah.
Because I had two pivotal moments. I have many pivotal moments in my life.
Yeah.
One of them is when I said, I looked in the mirror and said, I don't want to be this.
Yep.
I want to break the chains in my family, break the cycles.
Cycle, yeah.
Every woman has had divorce. My great grandma did not. And I said, I'm going to be like her.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get divorced. I'm going to have a healthy family. And yeah. So that was one of the big things.
Yep.
The other thing is, when I got my world together, I actually took an ROP. So it was a college course in high school, a psychology course.
Yeah.
And I did a report on a mental health disorder, and it explained my world. And it made me understand why decisions were made, or why things it really helped me understand possibly why my mom made certain decisions. And I really believe my mom tried her best. I believe that she's lived through hell. And I don't fault her for that.
Right.
She just, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So, I think those are some of the big moments so then I'm here and I'm like, why am I alone? Why you took everything away from me, God?
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? And then it's like Ramsey to Mike, which means I had a visitor.
Yeah.
And it was my foster parents. because my mom didn't show up, but she told him that she was going to show up during visitation.
Yeah.
And they decided not to go together, and
Yep.
And so I've had these moments in my world where I just really feel like God has just shown up even when I didn't know him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's be really honest. Either I should be dead,
Yeah.
or I should have overdosed, or
Yeah.
I should have like 12 kids.
Right.
It
is a miracle that you are as solid as you are now.
Right?
Right?
I mean, I think so. I think it really talks to, some people will argue this, but you can't argue my testimony.
Yeah.
Right? You
Correct.
can't argue the life I lived and what I have experienced and seen.
Yeah.
And I really believe that I have a conviction of God the way I do because I know what I lived through.
Yeah.
And I know there was no possible way that I should have made it out the way I did.
There's no way.
There's no way. So how can you deny that he exists? Some people will still, and that's okay.
I know.
And everyone's allowed to believe what they believe.
Exactly.
And I love you still.
Yeah.
But I know for me, I can't. Because I'm also an extreme personality.
Yeah.
So I should have been.
Yeah, I mean, and even though this is the more deeper version of your story than we got in the class, I can still tell it's still
The tip of the iceberg.
The tip of the iceberg. Because
Yeah.
we got into high school, and then by the way, I was in foster care.
Yeah. So I met Ernie during that time.
Like how you could possibly get to where you're at now and be this solid, be a leader, a really strong leader that people look up to. You're a role model for so many. You've made such an impact on so many people. How could that possibly have happened other than
God?
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. That's the jam. So
Yeah.
I met Ernie during that time.
Yeah.
So Ernie, a lot of that foster care stuff happened my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of pain that happened with senior year because friends who I thought were friends were like, oh, the rumors, and you come back to school.
Yeah.
My foster parents were cool enough to drive from Escondido to San Marcos for me to finish school with my friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a big deal.
And then Ernie's going to hate that I'm going to tell you the story.
Tell me.
He's going to hate it.
He is?
Yeah, of how he started dating.
He'll get over it.
Oh, he gives me this look every time I bring it up. He's like, oh,
well, he's Asian, so.
Was that
I don't know. I'm just stating he's Asian.
He is Asian. He's purebred Asian.
Yeah.
So I am 17 when I graduate.
It's a sappy story.
No.
So he doesn't like. Okay, go.
No, it's just kind of embarrassing.
Okay.
It's embarrassing on my foster parents' part, our part, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So in foster care, you are not allowed to be left alone if you're under the age of 18.
Okay.
Okay. So my foster parents have. My foster parents have this family reunion. I don't want to miss work. I'm working a really cool job at the Wild Animal Park.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm super cool.
Yeah.
Everyone else is working burger jobs.
Wild.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so I want to stay, and actually my foster sister wants to stay, but she's not like, much of a they're checking time.
Huh.
Much of a social
They
butterfly. And so they need somebody to babysit me. So they asked Ernie to watch me while I was.
And how old was Ernie at this point?
18. Just 18.
And so he was your boyfriend at this point?
No.
How did they know Ernie?
Well, he was my best friend.
His best friend?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So we did everything with Ernie.
Okay.
Ernie actually taught me how to drive.
Did he really?
Yeah, in his Pontiac Firebird.
How much older is Ernie than you?
Oh, it's like 9 months.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. So
that's
like,
right. Yeah.
So like I turned 39 in September, and he just turned 40 in December. So there's like a 3 month.
Yeah.
So.
And so they asked him to babysit you.
Yes.
Babysit you.
Yeah. Now.
That's not that bad.
Bro, you're asking an 18-year-old boy to babysit a girl.
That's not that bad.
Bro. Would you if your daughter was 17, would you let an 18-year-old boy babysit her?
If he was Asian.
That's where they went wrong.
That's where they went wrong.
So Ernie is he's like a super trustworthy person.
Yeah, clearly,
You know?
yes.
So all the parents loved him.
Yeah.
But like he's actually kind of a bad boy.
Is he really?
Oh yeah.
He is.
Mm-hmm. But he's like a put together bad
I can't
boy.
wait to get him on here. Am I
Bro.
going to be able to get him to open up?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
We're transparent.
Good.
We don't
I can't
care.
wait because he comes off as this just nicest guy.
Super reserved.
Super
until
quiet.
you wait till now JD is doing the class with us on this leadership side.
Yes,
Wait
yeah.
wait till you see.
Oh, wait till I see the back end of this. Yeah.
Just saying.
All right. So, why Ernie? Because he was such a nice guy. He earned your trust.
So everything I've done is in my life has always been intentional. When I had those pivotal moments,
Yeah.
like everything's intentionality. I intentionally did not want to date somebody who had a drug history. I did not want to date somebody who had a broken family. I did not want to date somebody. So I wanted somebody completely. I wanted somebody who had what I didn't. I was going to bring, and I don't know how I knew this at 17, but I wanted somebody, I had enough baggage going in. I don't need somebody else to have extra baggage.
Yeah.
So his family is the most beautiful family ever. And
Incredible.
100%.
Like the complete opposite of yours. Right?
His parents are still together. You sit with them and you know that they're madly in love with each other.
Oh, wow.
All the brothers get along.
It's incredible.
Like, yeah, it's insane.
So you saw that early on. You noticed it.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So, and there was times where, I moved out when I was 18 because although my foster parents were great, I moved out when I was 18 and there was some turmoil.
There was.
And, so I was on my own and Ernie and I were dating, crossing lines. I fell away from church.
You did?
Fell away from church because how could I?
Because he wasn't going to church, right?
Well, he's like a Catholic boy.
Yeah.
But he was like Catholic in the sense of he moved to San Marcos when he was in junior high and his parents started going to church. So he wasn't like raised Catholic.
Right. Yeah.
He like went to like the confirmation school or whatever.
Why'd you get away from the church?
Well, I was actually a youth leader at this new church we were going to because our Wellsprings like closed down.
Yeah.
And so I was a youth leader there and worship leader, like did worship for the youth and stuff. And, Ernie and I crossed lines, started sleeping together. And how could I tell other people, like, you're not supposed to do this when I'm doing this?
Oh, wow.
So instead of fixing it, I just stopped going.
That was the better route in your mind at that time.
Well, my whole life, that is what was painted for me.
Yeah.
In order to make a man love you, this is what you do. Across every female I knew.
Yeah.
So, essentially, I fell for it.
Yeah. How do you feel looking back on that? Any regrets?
Well, I don't regret anything in my life.
Good.
I do advise people not to go that route.
Yeah.
I know that for us, and we can get into this later, but when we came back to church, like we had to do a lot of healing before we could even think about getting married.
Yeah.
Like we were a mess.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Why were you a mess?
Well, one compromise always leads to another compromise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then we're the people in the club and, we were just living a lifestyle that, only brings pain.
Yeah.
Nothing good comes from it.
Right.
So we played house for 6 years.
Yeah.
And then we had this big, huge blowout and we broke up for 2 weeks.
What was the blow up about?
I didn't like his friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I came across some stuff and I said, is that who you're going to hang out with?
Yeah.
And which is sad because I know them. Like,
yeah.
I went to one of his friends. I went to like Newman's junior high.
Yeah.
I was like, that's who you're going to hang out with? And, he was like, I feel like we need to break up. Gist of the story.
The gist of the story.
Gist of the story.
Oh, jeez.
So I was actually in college at the time.
Oh,
he went to college first. Then I went to college.
Which college were you going to?
I went to San Diego State. Mesa transferred to San Diego State. So I went to school for psychology, and I was specializing in cognitive neuroscience.
Yeah.
So I had a neuroscience exam, my final.
Yeah.
And so I shut all emotions down, packed up my stuff, took my dogs, my cute little corgis, and stayed at a friend's house so I could focus on my final, because I was also doing research for this professor. And yeah.
And so that was about 2 weeks. What happened? How'd you get back together?
He wanted to meet.
Yeah.
So we met. And during that time, I really realized, wow, I had put him on this pedestal.
Yeah.
And everything I did was for him, and it wasn't right. And as crazy and goofy as it sounds, I basically was like, I can't put you before God anymore. I've like denied my faith for you. And I've prayed like, God, just please like let him propose so that we can like not live the way we're living. And you live with that for 6 years.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. And I'm going back to church. And he was like, oh, I've been wanting to go back to church too.
Okay.
So we started going to church.
All right. And then did he propose?
Well, not for a few years.
Oh, really? A few more years?
We got married on our 9-year anniversary.
So married on your 9-year anniversary.
Yeah.
So when you went back to church, did you guys pull the plug and what's it called? Abstinence?
Yeah. For 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
After being together for 6 years.
Yeah. So serious boundaries had to be drawn.
No kidding.
Like, don't even hold my hand. There's times you couldn't even hold my hand. I moved in with a family who ended up being a pastor at a church.
Yeah, because you couldn't even live together, right?
No.
Or wouldn't?
I moved out. Well, we tried to pretend.
Yeah.
And then I got really convicted when I read scripture in regards to the world, the testimony of the world.
Yeah.
Like what they see is what your testimony is.
Yeah.
So if you're going in the house,
Yep.
you're not going to assume he's sleeping on the couch and I'm in the room.
Mm.
It's the same. Like you might as well just be doing the thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So I brought that up to him and he was like, man, I just don't have peace about proposing. And I think that's why.
He didn't have peace?
No, not at all.
Huh. No kidding.
Yeah. And poor guy had a lot of pressure.
He did?
Oh, totally.
Where was the pressure coming from? You?
Well, me, my family.
Yeah.
When are you going to marry me? When are you going to marry me? When are you going to marry her?
And this was about age 22, 23, 24-ish? Right? Ish? 24, 25?
Yeah, something like that. 25 probably.
And so then he finally proposed.
Yeah, so we actually, our story is a little crazy.
Okay.
Does that surprise you?
No. Well, kind of in a way. Because
I
I only see you as Ernie and Fiona. Everything's smooth. Everything's great.
Not always. I'm crazy.
Yeah, you are crazy.
He had to tame the beast. So I move out. I lived in PB for a while on my own.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there was like this ministry call on fasting for the sanctity of marriage.
Yeah.
Because there was some legislation going in that a lot of churches were unhappy with. And we were like, oh my gosh, I'm totally going to join. I'm going to do this. We're going to do a 40-day juice fast.
You said this to him?
Like, no, we both, hands down. We were going to the Rock at the time. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
The Rock is actually what we went to Horizon.
Yeah.
But this kid that I tutored, he was a statistics major.
Yep.
I was a statistics minor, and I was tutoring him to get his degree. Filipino dude.
Yeah.
Love him. And he was like, you guys need to go to the Rock. Miles McPherson's there.
Yeah.
And Ernie is like a sports junkie.
Of course. Yeah, I remember.
Like junkie.
I remember hearing that.
So he, we went there, and that's like where he got saved.
At the Rock.
Yeah. Like he began to have a relationship with Jesus then.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're doing this fast
Yeah.
for marriage or whatever. And we're like, oh yeah, we're totally going to do this because we believe in marriage. We're trying to figure out our stuff. Great. And in worship, I hear a voice. They're like, oh yeah, you guys should fast each other. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm also tired of being the spiritual leader. So I'm not going to even say anything.
Yeah.
Come here. You're going to have to make him say it. And so sure enough, driving home, you know, Ernie's like, so this is going to sound really bad, but it's not meant to be. But what if we fasted each other so we could figure out what we're doing? And I was like, okay.
What does fasted each other mean?
So we didn't talk on the phone. We didn't text. We didn't hang out.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. So we have been a part of each other's worlds, like my best friend for however many years at this point, 8 years at this point. And we just like nothing. Take a break.
And that's a thing, right?
Well, it was for us. So I'm on this juice fast and this Ernie fast. And then soon after that is when we got married.
Because that must have been an incredible 40 days.
Insane.
Were you just seeing, give me some things. What were you seeing?
So my mind was really tortured growing up.
Yeah.
So really I would have like voices just beating me up constantly, and I had a lot of stuff spoken over me, like I ruined my life at 16 or all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember like I lived in PB still at the time, and I was praying and I just like couldn't even focus. Like my brain was so loud, and people probably thought I was crazy, you guys.
Thought?
Yeah. They probably still think I'm crazy because I was like, in the name of Jesus, leave my mind. Like,
really?
And just went bananas. You probably could have heard me 2 blocks away.
This was in your house?
This is in my studio in PB.
Where in PB? What was the?
Emerald. I lived in the Red
What
Barn.
year was that?
I don't know.
90s?
No, this is 2000 something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We got married 2009, so 2008?
Wow. No kidding. Unbelievable.
Yeah, were you partying down there?
No.
Yeah, right.
I was already done. I left there. I made it out alive and barely at 2000. Wait a minute. 2004. No, 2002. 2001. 2002.
I was just getting started.
I barely got out of there.
Just kidding.
Rachel, my savior. My original savior, Rachel, got me out of there.
Yeah.
I barely made it out.
PB's gross.
I loved it.
It's beautiful during the day.
I loved it.
But I was like a Christian in PB,
Yeah,
bro.
you can't. That's not going to...
And I'm like, I know it's payday and you guys are going to party.
Yeah.
But I also like got to go to work.
Yeah, I was in PB mode for 10 years. Cuz I got out of jail, which was the military basically. So I was like,
yeah.
When I got out, I was like, whoa. All right. So anyway, okay. So
these guys hate that it's past 7:00 right now.
It's not 7, it's 6. The clock's fast.
By an hour? Why do you do that?
I don't know. The freaking clock, I don't know how to, it keeps setting itself to mountain time. I can't set it. It's driving me crazy.
No wonder he's asking what time it is. He's like, looks at it and starts having anxiety. I
It's
told her
6.
it was going to be, my wife, I was going to be home.
It's still long, but it's 6, not 7.
She knows by now.
Just for recording purposes.
She knows by now, though.
I cannot get that damn. I'm
JDs.
just gonna get a new clock because I can't figure out how to set it properly. I set it right, and then it gets because the mountain thing won't go back. Anyway, all right. So let's land this plane.
Great, let's land it
somehow. Because there's.
So we get married.
Yeah.
And we have a kid. Now we have 3. Is this landing it?
No.
And we have a very successful business, and life is so happy.
All right. But if I want you to speak into this, Fiona, because you are a marvel. You're a miracle, basically. Now, after hearing this story, and I hope everybody identifies with this, why we do backstories. It's because I do this because I want people to listen to stories, and people, not everybody's going to identify with this, but some women are going to identify with this story and think, how did she get out of this? How does she now have a beautiful, harmonious marriage with beautiful children? Things are smooth, right? Ish.
Yes. No, they're smooth.
Ish. Did you immediately?
I mean, every marriage has a journey.
Yeah, of course.
You're always working
absolutely.
on something.
So what we want to do here now is tie this thing in to how in the world, obviously God was a big part of this for you. Yeah. Finding God in Jesus and being saved was a huge thing for you, right? Yes. And so dig further into this to get the girls that are watching or that they're hearing this story saying, you know what, that was me. I had abuse going on. I was in foster care. I was whatever the case may be. So what would you say is, and I know you said something about fear, how you overcame fear.
Yeah. So I think there's several characteristics that I leaned in and had to turn on.
Yeah.
I think intentionality. I think overcoming fear. And I also think I remember a lot growing up knowing that I would be a message of hope, and my story would be a message of hope. Because no matter where you come from, you're not defined by what you come from. You're not defined by what you go through. You're defined by the creator that created you. And now whether you believe that or not, you're still not defined by the things you do, right?
Yep.
You're defined as a person.
Yep.
And I know a lot of scary things happen in our life, and you have to lean into the pain. You have to lean into the fear of it to overcome it. And that gets, if you're scared, you're probably supposed to go that way, right? Yeah. So when I looked in the mirror and thought to myself, I don't want to be this. I want to break cycles in my family, and I want to rewrite my family's history and legacy. Like, it wasn't like I was like, let's do it. There's a lot of fear in that. Because also, like, I'm the only one in my family who's done this. I'm kind of the black sheep. Yeah. You know? But here's what's really cool is my older brother, the one that's still alive. Yep. He has been sober since January last year.
Really?
Yeah. And he's lived a whole life of addiction. And I really believe and he'll josh with me and say, it's not because of you.
Yeah, of course.
But I do know, like, he's told me, I see you and you've done it. How have you done it? And I told him it's intentionality. Like, you can't be scared.
Explain intentionality to me.
So intentionality, like, when I said I didn't want to date somebody who did drugs. Yeah. I didn't want to date somebody who had a broken family. And I made a list. Like, I was that person. I made the list. And some people who, like, are in the Christian faith, they're like, write down the list of your dream boy. But I made that list. Yeah. And I also was intentional on finding somebody. If you had a broken family, I had no interest with you. You know, I also made sure I surrounded myself with people who kept me to that. You know, and I also, anytime I was, you know, when we started our business, I remember fear just like filling me and going, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Like, what if I fail? What if this? But I was intentional of looking at each and every step, just moving forward, pushing the fear away. Because at the end of the day, there's no such thing as failure. There's learning opportunities.
Right. So, and what made you guys start the business?
Well, my girlfriend did photos with me and my son, and I was like, oh, I could do this. I had a whole business plan. Yeah. I come from entrepreneur women. Yeah. So my grandma's business is over 50 years, still going. My aunt's doing it now. And she was the first woman to own property and her own business in her area. Yeah. Nebraska. So, and
then you run it by Ernie? How did that go?
Well, I was like, hey, Ernie, I want to do this. And he told me to take a class. He's like, you don't even have a camera, Fiona. And I was like, whatever. So then I just like dropped it. Yeah. Because, you know, whatever.
Okay, you dropped it and
then when Sarai was born, we used to have like interns from the church live with us. And this one gal was living with us, and
which church is this, Awaken or Rock? Yeah. Awaken.
And she was living with us. And
what made you switch from Rock to Awaken?
We moved back to San Marcos because we were intentional. Because in order for me to break my family's cycle, my kids needed to see what a family looked like. So we moved closer to Ernie's family because we lived in La Jolla. And who would move from La Jolla to San Marcos, especially when you have the experience you have of San Marcos, you know? Yes. So
so you moved the family, which at this point, how many children? 2?
It was just Caleb.
Just Caleb, okay. And so you intentionally moved to San Marcos so that they could see
grandparents and uncles
and a family that had a dynamic that was cohesive. This is what it's
supposed to look like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's profound right there.
That's intentionality. I also was terrified because I hated San Marcos. Before I left, I was a bartender and I got pinned at my station. And this person was like, oh, I knew your mom. And like, just the guy had to be like taken out by security and beaten up because he was so belligerent and just attacking.
Where was this? What bar?
It was over by our church. It's not there anymore.
And you were bartending?
Yeah.
This is before you moved out of there, right?
Yeah, before we moved out. So this is like, then I came home and was like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm done with San Marcos, because this past, it's not my past, it's following me.
Yeah.
My family legacy is following me, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
So.
And so then you moved back to San Marcos because that's where Ernie's family is?
Yep. Yeah, they moved from National City to San Marcos in junior high.
And when did the business come back? Like when did you revisit the business?
So we had Sarai, who's now 8. She was 6 months old. I got a camera from one of the gals living with us. Was like, look what I got, Ernie. And he's like, where'd you get that? Because we went down, we were only living off of one income at the time. I quit my job to raise my kids.
What was Ernie doing at this point?
He's a computer science engineer.
Yeah.
So, and, budgets were tight.
Yeah.
So he was like, what did you just do? And I was like, she's not going to pay rent, but we have this camera. I just knew if I got a camera in his hands, he would fall in love and we would start a business.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. 2 weeks later, we were starting a business plan.
So you knew if you got a camera into his hands, because he wasn't a photographer at this point.
Well, he's dabbled in photography.
Yeah.
So he worked with a defense contractor that did, he had to learn how to use a camera.
Yeah.
So I knew, and we've always loved photography. We've always loved that stuff. And Ernie is he's a beast for building.
Yeah.
And he's a beast in the business world. Like the way his mind works. And I knew I just I have to give this to you because this is inside of you.
Yeah.
So
you saw that in him, right? and
yes.
got a camera in his hand. A couple weeks later, you're starting a business plan.
Yeah. Yep.
And so how did it go out of the gates?
Oh, great. Everybody loved us.
Yeah.
So we were really strategic and intentional. We made sure that we shot together.
How many years ago?
So this is 8 years ago.
Okay.
So we always shot together. And, guys don't really like taking pictures unless you're JD.
That's true.
JD's,
I don't take that many pictures.
Bro, you're on social media so much.
Hey, we got to keep up with the brand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not
mad at you.
Not mad. But we knew Ernie's love of sports and stuff like that would totally chip people away, the dudes away, so they'd be comfortable. So we built the brand off of that, and then we started doing portraits. We started watching YouTube to learn how to be photographers.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and we
so you basically just kind of just learned on the fly.
Yeah. We also knew we were running youth at the time at Awaken, helping run youth, and we were having our very first Awaken conference, youth conference, and we knew someone needed to capture that. So
No kidding.
Yeah, and we brought his brother in, started getting into it. So his brother is one of our main videographers.
Ernie's.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding. And so,
who's 12 years younger than him.
Are you serious?
All his brothers are 6 years apart.
How many brothers and sisters does he have?
Only 2 brothers.
2 brothers.
Yeah, 2 brothers.
And so then, when did the business really just explode? Would you say
PFA?
The Pathfinder apprenticeship?
Yeah.
By the way, Pathfinder
apprenticeship.
is
We call
what
it
PFA.
is, yeah.
Okay. For the listeners and watchers. That's what catapulted it. Why did it catapult it?
Yeah. So actually we had what Ernie explains this to when he teaches in the apprenticeship that we do, right?
Yeah.
When he does his lead generation stuff, we had what we call August. I was pregnant with Selah, our third, who is now 3.5. And all of our money dried up. My aunt was out here. I was embarrassed because we had no money. And we come from, my family's pretty well off.
Yeah.
We don't flaunt it or anything, but, we're good to go. We're comfortable. My aunt doesn't really have to work. She does it because she likes it.
Yeah.
And, Selah went breech. She went transverse, which is sideways.
Yep.
And we had to get an emergency ultrasound. I went and saw Dr. Matt, which you guys are going to be here next week, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and this whole time...
That'll be a short one.
Yeah, you think I can talk, guys.
Oh God, here we go.
But he's not allowed to be late though, because he has a leadership meeting afterwards. Guys, Chris, you have full permission just to cut.
He's got no permission.
At 6:00.
He's got nothing.
Okay, 6:15 the latest. Just like shut the cameras off and walk away.
We're starting earlier next week though on that one. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways. So yeah, we went into the ultrasound place, right? Yeah. And it's like it's separate thing, and we know the guy. Like Ernie and I had a miscarriage in between the two girls.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was.
How many months in?
14 weeks when I found out. Yeah. So,
sorry
and he knew us.
Yeah.
And none of the credit cards were going in because they were all maxed out.
No way.
And he was like, you know what? We'll just invoice you. My aunt was like, you want me to pay for it?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God, no, we're so fine. Yeah. We're great. You know, because it's like, I can't tell. And it's funny. My aunt now goes like, why didn't you ask for help? And I'm like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't ask for help. You figure it out. Like you create solutions.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was like our lowest of lows. And we were in the shower. And my aunt had left. Baby's still here. I think she went 9 days late. And we were like, what are we going to do? And Ernie said, I really feel like if I can't make something happen in 2 weeks, I need to go back to the corporate world.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, here's the thing is I understand you are a provider, but God doesn't give you a vision to take it away. So that was like our lowest of lows, and God gave us this really crazy strategy. And Ernie was like, listen, the Facebook ads, they bill you at the end of the month. So if I start now, if I put $5 to it a day and I book just one wedding, it'll make it even. Yeah. So let me book 3 weddings or, whatever. Yeah. And he booked 2 weddings.
This was only like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago, lowest of lows.
Yeah.
No
20
money,
weddings,
nothing.
maybe. Yeah. 20 weddings a day, which actually photographers, their money making like success is 20 to 25 weddings
a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with that, he did ads. He worked on my birthday, September, and he used that as an ad, and he showed it in the teaching that he does at the Pathfinder's apprenticeship. And we started getting momentum, and he even in one call booked 2 brides, but he set a date like, okay, God, if it doesn't happen by this time, that'll be a sign to me. Like I'm supposed to do something else. So
this was only 3 years ago.
Yeah. Like couldn't feed our kids, almost lost our house.
Listen up, listeners, listen, watchers, listen to this. This is crazy.
It's true. Well, and everyone looks at us now and they're like, oh, your Gucci gang shoes and your earrings. And it's like, listen, we went from 7 weddings, 19 weddings. Yep. Then we went to 80.
Yep.
Or we went to 75. And then we went to, during the pandemic, we did 86. Our entire industry was shut down. But we still had to keep pushing forward. Because if you're not moving forward, you're dying. Yeah. There's no in between.
If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah. If you don't move, if you don't make moves, you're living in death. Yeah. And I know that sounds very extreme, but it's very true. Like you lose your momentum. Yeah. And then we went from 86 weddings to 310, 300.
So whatever. This past year was your biggest year ever.
We purchased another business. We were in the process of purchasing one. It just fell through, but we're looking at another. We're launching venue management stuff. Like wedding planning is being added onto services, wedding coordinating. And
so talk about that for a second. We'll once things start flowing like this, doesn't everything just start opening up?
Well, yeah, totally. I really believe, and I've actually had a conversation even with like Jürgen, our pastor, right? God brings you down to the lowest of lows to make sure you can steward what he has like for you, to make sure you could take care of like what you're supposed to take care of. So you'll see these phases, even now, like there's things like last season, there's like you know, give a strategy for cash flow because we're growing really fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so give a strategy for cash flow, and people are depending on us. Like, we don't really take it lightly when we bring somebody onto the team.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
We're responsible for them and their family. We need to make sure they have jobs. They, you know,
Yep.
we could pay them. We pay them diligently. We're not the people that are like, oh yeah, I'll pay you. And 2 weeks later,
Right. Yeah.
like, no, you have to take care of your people.
Oh yeah.
So, but once you start moving and you can be trusted with what's in your hand, 100% growth comes.
Yep. And then things just open up from there.
Yeah.
Especially when you're ready to receive it.
Oh yeah.
Because you got to be ready to receive it.
Totally. It's all mindset.
It is mindset.
It's all mindset.
So talk to, we're going to close with this. Give me some, for people right now, because everybody's living in fear.
Oh my gosh.
The majority of our society, country, actually the world at this point.
It's so heartbreaking.
There's so much fear mongering going on, more than ever, which is saying a lot. What would you say to the listeners and watchers? Finish it up by giving them something on what to do right now. How do you get through this? What do you focus on?
Well, first, turn off the news.
Yeah.
I think it's really important what you're bringing into your world and into your body, into your mind, what you're watching, what you're listening to is like the number one key to where your mindset is. So turn off all the noise. If you have to take a break from social media, I don't care if it's attached to your business, take a break.
Yeah.
Social media is like really vulgar right now and filled with fear and filled with censorship and this and that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's just, if it's not a conspiracy, it's something filled with fear and hate.
Yep.
And then I think when 2020 happened and the whole pandemic, or if you ask some people, plandemic. So when that all happened, we were scared.
So were we, yep.
We just started like getting our momentum. Our momentum's going to freaking stop now.
Yep.
And now people are on salary with us. So we're like, what are we going to do? And we pulled all of our marketing because nobody was having events. Nobody was having weddings. And here's a picture to paint a picture for you.
Yeah.
All right. So have you been to Salt Lake City?
No.
Okay.
I may have flown in there. That's maybe.
Sure, the airport. That's all I care about. Yeah. So, you know, in airports, they have like the conveyor belt walking. Yeah. I don't know what it's called. Yeah. Do you guys know what it's called? No.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. It's like an escalator, but it's flat.
Right.
So that's actually made to speed people up walking to get to their flights. Yeah. I don't know if you know that. So technically there's the etiquette. Like you're supposed to be I'm not saying etiquette. Etiquette is just like the fast lane is on the left.
Yep.
And if you're going to stand there and be lazy, you're on your right.
Right.
And you better make way for the people on the left.
Yep.
Right. If you are standing there, let's say you're standing on it backwards. Okay. Because that's what 2020 was.
Yep.
Push the entire world backwards. If you're standing on it backwards, you're doing this. You're going backwards.
Yep.
You're not making moves, which again is not moving is dying.
Yep.
But if I'm standing on it backwards and I'm walking, I'm making way more ground than you. So we opened up our marketing, continued to market. We found creative ways to tag certain people who were just going to get married, you know, and we did their weddings. We did 86 of them. And then that pushed us into our industry is in absolute chaos right now.
Right now.
Yeah. And 2022 is going to be even worse.
No kidding.
Yeah. Which is why I'm like, it's hard to project like what we're going to do because it's supposed to be the biggest wedding record in all times.
Yeah.
So.
And now with all this extra new strains, people looking like closing downs coming around.
Just here's the thing. Learn to think for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be really honest. Like you are allowed to look at every picture. I believe when you make a decision for your life, you look at every side of the story. And from there, you decide what is best for you and your family. Because here's the thing, is all the people that went and got vaccinated, they're the ones that are getting the Rona now.
Yeah.
So if you are vaccine and you were like, who's the news anchor that's just went viral? He just got COVID and he was so hating on people who didn't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Gerard? No.
There's so many of them. I
He
can't.
used to have his own talk show back when we were kids.
Oh,
Geraldo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he has been so anti-unvaccinated.
Yeah.
He went to the Keys. He got COVID because he came back with a scratchy throat.
Mm-hmm.
He refused to get tested because he's like, no, I have a booster and I have my shots and this
Yeah.
and that. He actually has apologized to the world. And here's the thing is, like, imagine if you just stopped
Yeah.
and looked at all the evidence. Would your decision been the same? And maybe it would have been. And I'm not against, I don't want to make sure people don't. I'm
Right.
not against people getting vaccinated.
Do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But also, like, just think for yourself.
Yeah. Think for yourself.
Think for yourself. Make your moves. Like,
Do your own research.
Yeah.
Look into it a little bit
yeah.
before you believe all the hype and whatever the mainstream mediums just push
And
it
here's
out
the
there.
thing: if someone is using fear to make you make a decision, that should be a red flag.
That's a big red flag.
Also look up our history. They did the same thing.
Yeah.
World War II, Nazi Germany, the same thing. My family has told me stories.
Yeah.
Which is, I cannot believe it's even happening again. And here in the U.S., of all places.
It's crazy.
Across the world now.
Across the world. Crazy.
So
The moral story is think for yourself.
be intentional. If you feel fear inside of you, rush towards it to break off the fear. And if people are using fear to control you or make you make decisions, pause, do your research, and think for yourself.
Take a step back if that's happening. And it's happening right now.
Yeah.
Like across the board.
Yeah. It's really sad. It really breaks my heart. Like, my kids are in soccer, and it breaks my heart to hear people talk about, like, oh, my kids are getting their booster shots, or, and it's like, but we don't know.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not hidden that we don't know what's going to happen. So, and if it's right
that's not
for
a secret.
You, yeah, it's not.
It's fact. We
Yeah.
don't know.
People have even, but and I understand people have grandparents that are like,
Yeah.
immune compromised. I get that 100%. Also, like, use common sense. If you're sick, stay home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
Take care of yourself.
Drink more water.
Drink more water.
Another liter.
That's right. Oh, I'll tell you what. This was fantastic. What an amazing story, Fiona.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
I hope that this resonates with someone, or that hears your stories, inspired to do something about it, change their surroundings, be intentional.
The best entrepreneur and the most successful business people are the ones who are committed to the journey and just keep taking one more step.
Yep.
They don't give up.
They don't give up and enjoy the journey.
They're authentically themselves, chains and all.
They're authentically themselves. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Authentically themselves.
It's true.
Be you.
Be you, boo-boo.
Be you, boo-boo. All right, girl. Appreciate it. Love you.
Peace.
Thank you for
Bye.
all you've done for me and the influence you've had on me and my family. Can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
That's it. That's a wrap.
Deuces.
Have a nice day.